let's do a cheers to the Sobeys and Safe Liquid Beer for the podcast.
We ride again.
I love you guys.
Careful, that cake's hot.
Check-in, come on, let's go. It's the AM Nasty Big Hello.
How dude.
It's not static, AM radio.
I'm your Huckleberry.
It's the Cool Bed Red Hot Nielson Show. Let's go. Everybody tuning in, even my wife.
Mommy likes too.
And those Macromella intros are cutting like a knife. Hey, it's Mitch texting in, he's your dealer for life. Let's crack at 6 o'clock and log you with some sirloin bites.
With the AM Nasty. It is the Nielson Show, brought to you by South Ford Chevrolet. Drive a little, save a lot at South Ford Chev, and we are coming at you hot this morning from the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen studio, where they've got that value menu on 5 items, $4. No big deal.
Do they sell hot water with that?
Man, did I get hosed
value
today?
menu? Huh?
Now, when I yelled out, did you think something really bad was happening over there?
Yeah, I thought something happened with the coffee.
Yeah, I
and
know.
That would have killed me
boys.
because life's blood.
I always take my tea and I pour it into my Paris Jewelers mug. I text us in the Paris Jewelers inbox at 780-218-9999. And today I opened up the tea, and apparently I had paid $2 this morning for nothing but a cup of hot water. There was no tea in there. It was just water, or one of those new fancy, completely clear teas.
Maybe that's
I was not aware of. So you came to the rescue. It was a church miracle. What did you have? What am I teeing right now?
Oh, it's some sort of a lemon detox.
I like it.
Yeah, 20 minutes you'll be flying to that bathroom.
Oh no! Don't need that. Hey, speaking of church miracles, how about this?
Can you believe it?
You weren't even sure you had this shirt still. You thought you might have pawned it off.
Kind of wish I had donated. I wanted to donate it so some random would be walking around the mall or something wearing this and not even know what the significance. But yes, it's you, it's Rashog, and wee little Titch.
And Titch's left eye and glasses, and I have a chin strap. And I think Big Maple was claiming this shirt yesterday, saying that he made it and dropped it off for you.
Let it be written, let it be done.
Yeah.
Big Maple, thank you. And this is, it's still, it's good. It's good material.
Yeah, it looks like it's only been worn like once or twice.
Yeah.
So that's nice.
One of one.
That's pretty good. Jimbo says, stop going to Tim's. Speak with your wallet. It's terrible. I didn't go to Tim's. It wasn't Tim's that did this.
Speak with your wallet.
Yeah, it wasn't Tim's. So calm down, Jimbo. It's okay. Anyway, this mystery tea that Eric gave me over there is tasting pretty good this morning.
Not bad, eh? Yeah.
I like it. I will help myself. 780-218-9999. That is where you can get in. I like this text from Andrea from Calgary. Good morning, guys. I know it's Oilers game day, but did anyone else have Dakota Prukop coaching VA in Calgary or anywhere for that matter on their 2025 CFL bingo card? Unfortunate to hear about Bull Baldwin having health issues. Look at Andrea from Calgary popping in with a Dakota Prukop coaching VA thing. I don't think it's so much like Prukop goes, no, VA, throw the ball like this. but he'll help oversee and organize the quarterbacks in Calgary.
Another set of eyes for VA and everything. Work ethic and knowledge of the game.
Those are always
2
big.
points that Dickinson alluded to.
Those are always big things that you certainly have to look for, I think. All right, so keep that Paris Jewelers inbox hopping today. 22 locations in 4 provinces. So you know they're good. 5 here locally, including West Edmonton Mall. I think I'm due for a trip to West Edmonton Mall here. Got some stuff that needs to be done. And not going to say, well, actually, I am looking forward to it. I like going to the mall. So I'll probably peruse Paris Jewelers a little bit.
Sure.
Not that I don't think I have any jewelry occasions coming up. Unless they get Marshall some bling. Marshall turns 10 on Thursday, everybody. 10 years old. You see the picture of him with the MLA? The one he's holding the MLA's coffee, but it looks like Marshall's having a coffee, chatting with the MLA.
It was a real meeting of the minds.
Yeah.
That's kind of got the sense.
It was pretty funny because Tam takes the kids to this event at their school over the weekend. It was like an outdoor hayride and a petting zoo and all this stuff. And they come home and I say, how'd it go? And they're like, oh, it was a great time. And Tammy's like, Marshall really liked bumping into the MLA. He had a great conversation with him, asked a bunch of questions. Then the MLA gave him his card and Marshall was like, Mommy, do you think he'd sign it for me? So he had the MLA sign the back of his business card for Marshall. So
biggest day for Marshall and the biggest day probably for the MLA.
The MLA
I mean, they both were just like feeding off of each other.
The MLA guy's social media manager was like, do you mind if we use these pictures? Like they're desperate for any sort of interaction.
With his
Marshall had his bow and arrow on. We got this picture of Marshall. He's sitting there holding a little coffee, talking to an MLA that he's almost as tall as, and he's got a bow and arrow across his chest.
Natural stuff.
That kid goes everywhere with a weapon. It's how it is. Like the other day, we're in his room and I somehow ended up laying on the floor and I look under his bed and there's a toy gun. Well, I'm like, what's that for? He goes, well, if anybody gets in the house. I was just like, good. You know what, man? I appreciate your awareness.
He's practiced the roll off the bed.
Of the home. Oh yeah, all the time. He doesn't need to. He probably has one under his pillow. Yeah, it's pretty funny actually. So yeah, my baby boy turns 10 on Thursday.
Double digits.
So maybe I go into Paris Jewelers and get him he can start being necklace at kids' school, like a chain, I guess they call it.
I like that.
I mean, we could do that if we wanted. West Edmonton Mall, Kingsway, Londonderry, Sherwood Park Mall, St. Albert. www.parisjewelers.com. You know what this is right here? This is Tales of the North. We got Tales of the North for the first time in forever.
Cooking duck tonight. They used to eat that in the medieval...
Don't people still eat duck? Don't they?
Sure, yeah.
Don't they eat it with l'orange?
You can duck. Lots of ways to cook a duck. Going through a few of them on Tales of the North.
Oh, that's good. Dreisaitl, the duck hunter. Jim Houston on the call. Remember that clip? That was pretty good. Oh, yeah. All right, let's lay out the show for you today. If you're watching over on YouTube, hammer the thumbs up. Of course, trade deadline is now just 3 sleeps away. We will get into that as we work our way through the show today with both the Fan Zone, obviously when Craig Button joins us for Pro-Am Sports, and then we got Trade Watch coming up as well around 7:45. So.
283,792 seconds until the deadline.
Oh, so we're doing it in seconds now.
You can. When you put it in that form,
so what are you operating on? Like a countdown clock over there?
Lots of clocks.
That's
Trade Watch.
That sounds
You're on the Trade
neat.
Watch. You got to be
I don't want to have
3.2 days, 78.8 hours, 4,729.5 minutes, 0.4 minutes.
All right, you get your morning announcements coming up. Tales of the North just after 6:30. That'll lead directly into the Fan Zone for fansfirst.ca. By fans, for fans, no fees. If you're looking to get into the game tonight at a very reasonable price and cheaper than all the other rebuying sites because of the lack of fees, then you do it at fansfirst.ca. Fired up for Gemco Fireplaces. We're going to either discuss the Mavs' current situation, or if there's a Mavs fan listening right now and you'd like to just come by and stand here in between us, I'll kick you in the nuts. And that might feel better than everything that's gone on with your team over the last month. So we'll get there for Gemco Fireplaces, your exclusive Napoleon fireplace dealer. We'll get there around 6:45. Craig Button will join us for Pro-Am. We'll build an EST parlay for the game tonight. Weekly confessions coming up just after 7:30. Trade Watch for that construction leadership program at Nate. We'll get into that around 7:45. Kind of easy trivia. 3 questions too many. Gager, the orange and blue breakfast for GCL Diesel, Marmot Basin Snow Report, and the wrap for William Huff. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a busy show coming down the pipe today. Let's dive into your morning announcements for 100.3 The Bear, Edmonton's best rock, Yukon and McCord every single morning. And Jess Jackson, who I saw yesterday afternoon. The only person I saw in that building yesterday afternoon, but it was great to see Jess.
Charge miracle.
Yeah, it was a charge miracle. NHL last night, Los Angeles Kings lose, and it's like the Oilers acquired a goaltender. Like a recent trade, a goaltender in that trade is helping the Edmonton Oilers.
Donato scored as well.
Oh, no.
Special agent.
You don't want him. Spencer Knight stops 41 of 42 to stymie the Los Angeles Kings. Shots in that game were 42-19 in favor of the Kings. But Spencer Knight said, "Oh, no, you don't."
Yeah.
And he was outstanding in his Chicago Blackhawks debut.
3 straight losses for LA, 12, 17, and 5 on the road.
Well, I'm sure in LA, sports shows right now are in full-blown panic mode.
Oh, talk to the town.
They're probably sitting there going, we should have given Arvidsson the no-movement clause. That's probably what's happening in LA right now. Elsewhere in the National Hockey League last night, anything else? The Leafs lost at home to the Sharks. Interesting. Rangers, big win over the Islanders there. The Habs beat the Sabres in overtime. Washington wins 5-4 in a shootout. No goals for Ovi. Got absolutely robbed at one point by Allmark. But Alexander Ovechkin did cash our lock shot play of the day yesterday. I had him over 3.5 shots at like minus 123. He hit it in the first period. A true no sweat. A true no sweater last night with our partners over at Cool Bed. So that was very exciting. And in the association last night, SGA does it again.
It's not even news.
I mean,
another night on the court.
The Thunder don't play any defense, but I'm not sure they have to. They win 137-128. SGA 51 points last night. Now, he shoots the ball a ton. He had 30 attempts last night. Got to the free throw line 10 times. And was 5 of 9 from beyond the arc. But the Canadian kid, he's now like minus 600 to win the MVP. Like, he's running away with the MVP.
Every week he gets a 50 spot. Usually on Wednesdays. Yeah. This time it was on a Monday.
Steve Nash is about to have company. So we'll get into that. Now, were we still on the air yesterday when we learned of all these ridiculous no movement clauses that Jeff Jackson gave out in the summer?
Kind of trickling down.
It was sort of.
The hangout.
I think it was just after we got off the air. So I guess this would be morning announcement news as well. Victor Arvidsson. We knew Skinner had a no move. For somehow nobody picked up on it till yesterday that Arvidsson also has a no move, and Adam Henrique also has a no move. So the Oilers have put themselves in a bit of a tight spot. 7 of their forwards have no movement clauses. Evander Kane is a 16-team no trade list. And if you can believe it, Matthias Janmark actually also has a 10-team no trade list. Because that's the caliber of player that should definitely have some say in what happens moving forward. Yeah. So
for life.
There's that.
For life.
And we'll get into it a little bit during the fan zone and for the Trade Watch segment for the Nate program, because I mean, if Evander Kane is like,
it should be Kane Watch. Before we get to Trade Watch in the Oilers market, it should be Kane Watch. Once Kane Watch has ended, then you can go on the Trade Watch.
I mean, you have to figure out what's going on with Kane before you can dive into the Trade Watch. But if they have to go money in, money out, which I just don't you love that saying?
We need to get that tattooed on all of our knuckles. We could do it like all 3 of us. I think money in, money out, and then we line
money
up.
out, put our hands together. If they're in that situation, it's not going to be an easy deadline for the Edmonton Oilers. Like, basically, any significant dollars you could move out, you can't unless the player approves it. And then the other guys, from a cap perspective and the level of interest in somebody, like their top 3 contracts I guess Evander Kane, he's got half the league on a no trade list. So, I mean, I guess you could try to move him if you wanted. Then you've got the other next three biggest contracts that you can move are Kulak. He's not going anywhere. You need Kulak right now. Skinner, and I know some of you, I'm talking Stu Skinner. Some of you would want to see him moved, but I don't think it happens. And then the other one is Bouchard, and you're not going to make a move Bouchard with what he's making right now because you need that lower cap hit on the team the way it's currently constructed. So they find themselves in what I believe some people refer to as a bit of a pickle.
Yeah, CB Radio Guy says no move clauses mean nothing. If a team wanted to move a player, they'd make that happen.
Okay, what are we talking about here? Who said this?
CB Radio Guy.
The CB Radio Guy. I mean,
they do mean.
Yeah, I mean, if the Oilers go and say, "Hey, Jeff Skinner, we're trading you here," and Jeff Skinner says, "No, you're not." Well, then no, you're not. I mean, they've kind of jammed themselves up here
to make a move.
CB Radio Guy says it's not a surprise that a veteran has a no move. It's like any Joe Blow at any job. Seniority rules. That's how the world works. This is a new thing. CB Radio Guy, I will allow you the time if you want to go and look at a bunch of other teams and tell me how many third liners have no movement clauses. I'll just wait because the Oilers got 3 of them essentially. Like you sit here and go, oh man, the Oilers did this great work in the offseason. How'd they get all these guys? Well, they got them because they gave them no movement clauses and gave up any flexibility the team would have. They didn't leave themselves an out if it didn't work with these guys. So they would have to have Henrique agree to a move. They would have to have Arvidsson agree to a move. And obviously we've known all season that they would have to have Skinner agree to a move. So not a good look. Not a good look on that front. If you want to chime in on it, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. CB Radio Guy says, no, well, then just send him to the minors. Actually, CB Radio Guy, how a no movement clause works is that you can't send them to the minors. So, once again, I mean, they've put themselves in a tough spot right now. Saskatoon Munchers in. Nom, 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 nom. Thank God Stan Bowman is here now. Jeff Jackson is a fraud. Oh boy. Saskatoon Munchers.
Where we've gotten to.
Not messing around. If you're over in the nasty chat, let's get to a few of those comments as well. 780-218-9999. And there's a lot rolling in that we'll try to sort through here. Jimmo says Henrique is understandable. He was a contributor last run, signed on for another shot at the cup, and wouldn't want to be used as trade bait. Victor, who knows? Yeah, but just because a guy wants one doesn't mean you have to give it to him. If you want to take a shot at a cup, here. Like I thought they got Henrique because they gave him a second year. Right?
That was the
the carrot. Here's your juicy tidbit. Henrique gets a second year. You don't get a second year and a no movement clause if you're going to be a third line center. Come on. That's just ridiculous. RCN says no movement clauses mean sure you might be able to move a guy to his preferred destination for very little because you have no leverage. And that's what's at Hersey's over in the nasty chat today. And if you're watching 25 away from changing 100, let's go. Smash that thumbs up for us. The Oilers giving Arvidsson and Henrique no movement clauses is like locking yourself in a room with no windows. Now you're stuck in a bad spot with no way to escape. You just can't make this stuff up.
Yeah. Stan Bowman is one of those contortionists who put their body inside of a glass box. That's the flexibility that he's going to have to try to find. Really, really stretch it out.
I don't know if you're going to be able to do that. He's going to have to he's going to have to dislocate his shoulders,
his hips,
to get rid of Victor Arvidsson.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Chris says, guys, but who would actually want Henrique or Arvidsson this year with their performances? Yeah, I mean, the way they've been playing almost act as a like an organic no movement clause anyway. Deutschland Dangler says, guys, I think every time the Oilers announce a signing, they have to state whether or not it includes a no movement clause. This cloak and dagger stuff is no good. Well, what's interesting is that like Puckpedia usually gets all this stuff. And I don't know if yesterday I wasn't paying close enough attention to old Hart and everybody over at
He was
Park Media.
updating it yesterday.
Well, I know.
Yeah.
But was he updating other teams that had these secret no movement clauses as well?
Not that I saw.
Like, I don't know if when was the last time we saw 8 months into a contract, all of a sudden it get revealed that these guys had no movement clauses? I'm sure it's happened before, but as this text says, this is the most Oilers thing that could have happened. 780-218-9999. So anyway, they're just going to have to be super duper creative at the deadline, unless Evander Kane says, like, I just hope we don't get to a point where the Oilers doctors are like, no, Kane can't play. And Kane's got a doctor's opinion saying, yes, I can play. And then it goes to a Players Association grievance.
A tribunal.
And you've got Evander Kane grieving against the team to play 3 regular season games. Like, I don't think it will get to that spot. But if it does, that just sort of is on par for everything that you're hearing about the Evander Kane situation right now.
You don't think.
Which would say,
yeah, you feel. It could get to that spot. Full court press, Shoggy said yesterday.
On our show?
To deal Kane. That was his belief anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Full court
So
press.
I had this conversation with the boys over on the Bear this morning, and I had to really dumb it down for them because, they got that FM.
Well, that's good.
level,
Yeah,
right?
different terminology, yeah.
But who's going to trade for Evander Kane? I've got one sort of pipe dream deal that I've cooked up.
Okay.
That we'll get to during the Nate Trade Watch, and it does involve Evander Kane. But what team is going to go out and trade for a guy who hasn't played all year, pretty much comes with baggage in every place that he's been? Why would and another year on his contract? Like, why would a team do that unless the Oilers are sweetening the pot a little bit? And maybe they will. Maybe they have to. And then they can, if the Oilers, maybe it comes down to, okay, we like this guy. We could get this guy, but we can't get this guy because of the Evander Kane situation. Okay, well, then what are we comfortable in adding to Evander Kane to get rid of him? I guess that's how that could have to come down. So CB radio guy still trying to hop on this train that no movement clauses don't matter. And I said, you can't send him down and you can't trade him without his approval. He goes, you can sit in the press box. So you're gonna have 3 guys with no movement clauses sitting in the press box? The reason the no movement clauses become an issue is because you can't trade them. You know what? They've already had Skinner with a no movement clause sitting in the look, man, just admit it. No movement clauses have put the Oilers in a really ugly spot pre-deadline. That's just how it is. I don't know why you're trying to debate that it's not. That's just how it is. 780-218-9999 or hit us up over in the nasty chat. Penner's Pancakes is asking, how do you think fans react on home ice when Kane plays game 79 against the Sharks? I mean, that would be interesting. I think they would still cheer him.
Got to give him the runway.
But
got to give him the runway.
The hardcores will be like, boo.
Unsigned says, just roll the dice and spend the Kane LTIR. Fingers crossed.
No, you can't do that.
You can't do that.
I don't think you can do that. I just like but the whole thing is ridiculous. And we'll get into a little bit with Button. Like, are we honestly supposed to believe that the Edmonton Oilers, a professional NHL franchise, don't know the current timeline with one of their own players? And I think they would for pretty much everybody, except maybe this guy. And then it's an ugly situation. You want to move on from it anyway, I think. So it's a weird conversation to be having. There are no other markets having this conversation prior to the deadline. And we are having it here in Edmonton. And it's not ideal.
CB Radio guy says, no, Dusty. You're blowing this out of proportion.
No, I'm not. I'm sorry, man. I'm not.
I think sitting in the press box.
You're going to see it. You're literally going to turn on TSN trade deadline coverage Friday morning. Like, the top storyline is going to be like, Oilers money in, money out, because Their top 9 has a no movement clause. Like, come on, man. I feel like he's trolling me now at this point.
Yeah.
Like,
the worm is turned.
I don't. No, come on, man. All right, let's take a look here. Well, what a novel concept. The Florida Panthers, who won the Stanley Cup last year,
Yes.
were in the Stanley Cup final the year before. I'm just taking a look at their forwards, and I just wanted to see if 7 of their forwards had no movement clauses, and if a couple of their other guys had no trade clauses. If you go look at the Florida Panthers right now, Alexander Barkov, no movement clause. I understand it. Matthew Tkachuk, no movement clause. I get it. Sam Reinhart, no movement clause. You know how many other Florida Panther forwards have a no movement clause? 0.
That's it?
None. The big guys, the elites get no movement clauses. The others don't, unless you're here. Okay? The Florida Panthers have 3 forwards with no movement clauses. They're franchise guys. And then they've got Forsling, and they've got Seth Jones, who they just acquired.
You would give one to Luosterainen, though, wouldn't you?
I wouldn't, but Jeff Jackson would if he would commit to here. I mean, it's just... I mean, that's the team they played in the Stanley Cup final last year. Their top 3 franchise-style forwards have no movement clauses. Nobody else does. So don't sit here and tell me, oh, it's just something you have to deal with. Because you don't. I'm giving Arvidsson and Henrique second years on deals should have been enough. No movement clauses. If that's the case, if they didn't want to come here and they're like, I'm only coming for a no movement clause, and I guess they didn't really want to be here anyway, you should have just kept Holloway and Broberg. 7-8. I didn't want to get this fired up this early in the show. We're supposed to have a fun show today.
Well,
it's game day.
Lakers Pelicans tonight. If you want to preview that.
Actually, no. Wait, I can't get to that today. I'd like to get to that today, and I will be watching it tonight.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
780-218-9999. 780-218-99.
Oilers are back home.
Yeah.
McDavid loves eating duck. He'll be back. They had their slump. Actually, if you read all the words spoken yesterday, this is what needed to happen to the team on the ice. You need to have a slump now, because you slump now and then you...
I agree. Had to have it. It's just something that they had to go through.
This is what teams do. So the momentum now, the pendulum swings as that hip song goes, and tonight against the Ducks, who they owned as of late, we're getting on track here.
That's good.
We're getting on track.
I'll tell you right now, it's a spoiler alert for the EST parlay today, but I'm on McDavid over 1.5 points in that parlay.
Oh yeah.
Today.
No, he's going to erupt.
And a dry settle goal because he's the duck hunter.
Yeah. Who was offered to miss practice yesterday but didn't?
Well, you know what? I have an interesting thought on that. So they said McDavid, Arvidsson, and Ekholm could skip practice because they're 4 Nation guys, finally got home, whatever. Arvidsson and Ekholm decided to sit out, but they can't keep McDavid off the ice. But we need to stop saying, McDavid looks sick. There's something wrong. If there was,
but he's tough.
They should have just said, hey man, we know you're banged up. You're not practicing today. So obviously McDavid is fine.
Or is he?
I think he's going to crush the Ducks tonight.
Maybe he's like Kyrie taking free throws with tears falling down his face.
More on that with fired up.
No, I know, but
more on that, yeah.
I hear you though. I
don't know, but if you have a chance to sit one out at practice and you're legitimately banged up, and
nobody would fault you for taking
that well
it.
lately,
nobody would fault you for taking it. You have been gone
out.
4 weeks. You've been gone. Play with the dog a bit. Enjoy the driveway.
780-218-9999. Ace 96, I want to get here quickly, says Holland was overall excellent, but he left at the time he knew some of the deals would hit the fan. You know what? Holland gave the no movement clauses to the big boys. Jeff Jackson gave them to Arvidsson, Skinner, and Henrique. Ken Holland is no way related to those 3 no movement clauses. So I don't have any time for that.
This is like putting green bananas in a brown bag. And speeding up that ripening process, right?
This text is in from an unsigned number. Says, I don't know what CB radio guy is smoking, but maybe Jeff Jackson had some of it when he signed these deals.
Wow.
Woo!
Probably marijuana.
Oh, careful what you say. Careful what you say.
That stuff's illegal.
Tales of the North is coming up next. Plus the Fan Zone for fansfirst.ca and Fired Up for Gemco Fireplaces, your exclusive Napoleon Fireplace dealership. All right. Let's, lots of good text messages. We'll continue to sort through the Paris Jewelers inbox, taking a good old-fashioned pounding today. Let's get to a sports update right now.
CB Radio guy says sorry, guys.
No, CB Radio guy, you don't need to say sorry. I should say sorry. We should both say sorry.
Wait, nobody's saying sorry. It's good back and forth.
CB Radio guy, you know what I'm going to give you, buddy? I'm going to give you no movement clause. You stay right here with us. You stay right here with us, CB Radio guy.
You got the anchor.
But next time you act like this, I'm putting you in the press box. All right, let's get to the update with LT.
Painting 100.
The LA Kings suffering their fourth straight loss last night as they fall 5-1 to the Blackhawks. Spencer Knight, 41 saves in his debut for Chicago. Sharks would top the Leafs 3-2 in a shootout. The Panthers would take the Battle of Florida 2-1 over the Lightning, while the Rangers win the Battle of New York 4-0 over the Islanders. Mike Matheson scored in overtime, leading the Habs over the Sabres 4-3, Montreal's fifth straight win. Caps over the Sens 5-4 in a shootout. Oilers back home to host the Ducks in one of 10 games around the NHL tonight. Join Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas for the GCL Diesel pre- and post-game shows here on EST. Coverage beginning at 6. Another 51-point performance from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander saw the Thunder reach the 50-win mark on the season, 137-128 over the Rockets. They get wins in 10 of 11 for the Pistons. They dominate the Jazz, 134-106. Raptors, they'll visit the Magic tonight in one of 9 games. Also, the Lakers are at home to the Pelicans, while the Cavaliers aim for 11 straight wins when they visit the Chicago Bulls. Over to the Briar from Kelowna, Kevin Cooey picking up a pair of wins. He improves to 2-3. He'll face Brad Gushu's Team Canada later tonight. The Gushu rink improving to 4-0 last night with a 7-3 victory over Manitoba's Reed Carruthers. Brad Jacobs, meanwhile, he sits at 3-0. He'll play Saskatchewan's Ryan Kleider this morning and Nova Scotia later on tonight. Up next, Tales of the North to get you set for Oilers and Ducks here on the Nielson Show, EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Somebody once told me that I had got to grow the facial hair that make me look fine. He was looking super cool, the ladies, man, how they drool at the shape of a U on his jawline. Well, you look amazing cause you just stopped shaving. The chicks line up so you're always dating. Doesn't make sense to have a full beard. You think it looks cool but it just looks weird. So much to do, so much to win. So grow it ear to ear around your chin. You'll never know if it will grow. So don't shave and just let it go. Hey now, grow a chin strap, get that hair on your face. Hey now, grow a chin strap, coolest dude in the place. And now that we are in March, let's all come together and celebrate Charge. It's a cool look, and as you get older, your chin stays warm and your life gets bolder. Hashtag Charge if you're on Twitter. Nelson had a chin strap in his wedding pictures. If you want, you shave it pretty thin. People use their eyes to be staring at your chin. My strap straight fire? How about yours? You're just so popular you never get bored. Hey now, grow a chin strap, get that hair on your face. Hey now, grow a chin strap, coolest dude in the place. And now that we are in March, let's all come together and celebrate Charge.
That is the Charge anthem as Chin Strap Awareness Month continues. End the stigma. End the stigma indeed. Thank you very much for being here this morning. It is the Nielsen Show brought to you by Southfort Chevrolet. Drive a little, save a lot. Go see Daniel and his dream team at Southfort Chevrolet. And they've always got great deals on demo vehicles. Low kilometers and a much better price. Find them all, www.southfortchev.com.
Teef has weighed in on the whole no movement clause conversation.
No, he hasn't.
Thankfully, into the Paris Jewelers inbox, though, again.
What do you say?
Oh, you want it?
Yes. Let's see what it is.
Giving a no-movement clause to a player is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. You might like the finished product or you might not. Atif.
Do you think he knows that's a Forrest Gump reference? I'm just curious.
I really hope
I'm just curious. All right, you can text us anytime in the Paris Jewelers inbox. One of your text messages will end up winning text of the day today for A&W, where the Stacker Burgers are back. $3.99 for the single. $4.99 for a double stacker. And ladies and gentlemen, you can get a triple stacker for $5.99.
And what day is it today?
And it's game day. Fantastic deal. The Godfather was over on Friday.
Yeah, how was
that?
And
he goes, it was good. The Godfather.
You had your game? Yeah.
Yeah. Marshall and I played against the boys.
Yeah.
And a quick update on that game. So they had beaten us 2 of the last 3 times. So Marshall was just like,
revenge.
He was fired up. Like he had his little street hockey gloves in a bag, and it was like he was on a road game.
And a scythe tucked into his pants.
Yeah, and he comes down, he's like, Daddy, we have to have this. You have to step up. So
he's calling you out.
So we have one big net, which my nephews get, and then we have a small little net that I'm the goalie of. So I like take up this whole net. And my 13-year-old nephew, Tanner, all he was doing, and we have this, it's not a hard ball, it's like a foam ball kind of thing. He was just hammering slappers at me from 4 feet away. And I just go like this every time, and it would just hit me. And Marshall's like, great save, Daddy. I was like, my God. So we ended up winning like 12-7, a convincing dub. And I scored like 8 of the goals from back of the net. I was like, Marshall, just go up and screen Tanner, and I'll try to get a shot. Elizabeth plays on their team. She doesn't play with us.
Okay.
She plays on their team.
Yeah.
But a huge win. Marshall buried the winner, and it was just like, he was fired up. He works harder in the basement against his cousins than he does at hockey. It drives me nuts. I'm like,
it's the blood
buddy,
there,
you got to find this next level. But anyway, take that, Tanner and Tayson, my nephews. Anyway, the Godfather was like, that's the deal at A&W for Mama Burgers.
He's
can't be beaten.
He's all over that.
Oh, him and the boys love it.
Has he stacked all of them together?
Oh, no, he was talking Mama Burger and fries.
Oh, the game day.
The game day deal.
Yeah.
The game day deal. I'm sure the Godfather will be popping by an A&W near you. $5 for a Mama Burger and fries on game day. Why is the Energy City Cactus Rat mascot wearing a hat and talking like Dusty? We'll get to that. I got it locked in at 3 questions today. We'll get to the Energy City Cactus Rats.
Get me a hat.
All right, let's get into Tales of the North because we got the fan zone and Fired Up still to come here before Craig Button joins us in about 23 minutes. All right, are we ready for Tales of the North here, boys? Ooh, you are ready, aren't you? All right, Tales of the North. Finally, first time in over a month. Let's do this. Oilers, Ducks, tonight at Rogers Place.
Who owns the North? Who owns the North? Show me! Melon, marbled, canvasback, or pecan. All of these fowl make for delicious eating. 3 onions, some lard, and a teaspoon of pepper. Even that recipe wouldn't make John Gibson better.
Tonight in the North, the mighty Oil defend the district for what feels like the first time in a fortnight. Well, all eyes will be on the battle against the Ducks. The true intrigue lies beyond, with the deadliest of deadlines lurking in the distance. Jeff Jackson, 2J. My name is Jeff. Must deliver the horse that Connor craves to make a postseason push once again. Standing in his way, nothing more than himself and a dubious amount of no movement clauses cluttering the immediate future. You get a clause, you get a clause, while Oprah rolls over in her grave. I can help, claims Baby of Bowman, but can he? These are the tales of the North, and may they be heard far and wide across this great land.
Quack, 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 Mr. Ducksworth.
Tales of the North. If that doesn't get you fired up for deadline week and the game tonight, what will?
You're right. We needed it. 4 Nations, the road trip. It's been a while.
Oh, man. It feels like forever. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999 is where you can get in. And hey, if you're watching over on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us. We are 29 away from changing 150 before 7 o'clock this morning. Oh, man, I hit my papers everywhere. What a mess. What a messy set of papers. Am I right? It's wild. Oh, no, I'm stuck in. All right, we're going to get into the fan zone. I see Ace 96 saying, you guys don't talk a lot of hockey. Ace 96, calm down. Okay, relax. We got Craig Button coming up. We got the trade watch segment.
Hockey talk.
We just spent the
half
first
an hour
30
talking
minutes.
about no movement clauses here.
Hey, calm down, man. Calm down. Everything's going to be okay.
Jeez.
Let's get in the fan zone for fans first. By fans, for fans, no fees. If you're sitting around this morning, you're like, man, I'd really like to go to that game tonight, but I just hate all those fees on those reseller sites. Well, then do we have a website for you? Check them out. Fansfirst.ca. By fans, for fans, no fees. All right. Let's get into that. All right. So considering that the level of difficulty at this deadline, depending on the Evander Kane situation, could be somewhat tricky for the Mighty Oil. Eric, are you limiting the expectations that you have for the amount of movement we'll see from Jeff Jackson and Stan Bowman?
You're asking me to limit something I never really had such high
you weren't really expecting much anyway.
I don't think I can limit it anymore.
Yeah, fair enough.
No, I think yesterday proved, and this was the exercise, somebody had now look, I don't think any proposal, you can say, I think they're going to trade both Skinners and say whatever you want. Dream is big of a dream as you want, or think, or go off route, or do whatever, and involve third parties and have people eat salary and organizations they never really deal with. But I think yesterday somebody had a trade proposal involving the Islanders. I read it to you, and you just kind of but that doesn't happen. And again, maybe it was a little more work that needed to be done. Maybe it really couldn't happen with this group right now. But where this team is at, position-wise, money-wise, Kane-wise, look, I said earlier, it's going to take some body contortionist stuff from Bowman and 2J and the rest to kind of figure this thing. Can they? Sure, maybe. I don't know. As we said yesterday, too, a few people saying you can't really judge these guys because this will be their first trade. Let's see what happens. But if the summer was any indication, and again, a few bets that didn't work for this management group, but a few that have been working elsewhere, I am limiting expectations. Prove me wrong.
I talked about it a little bit on the Oil Stream yesterday with Tommy Gazzola, that let's just let this play out here.
Now, they'll address what they need to address positionally. It just won't be as sexy as I think fans expect or want it to be where this team is currently at in the Cup window.
If they have no Evander Kane LTIR space, I still think they get a bottom six forward, and I still think they have to find some type of defenseman. Now, what's interesting about this is the guy that they want to use, fans want the team to use the Evander Kane LTIR space on a top six forward. So I'm wondering if this team looks at it as in, okay, well, Evander Kane's going to play at some point. He'll take up his own cap space, and hopefully he's a top six forward. So maybe you check that box just by Evander Kane returning.
Yep.
I worry that they're also like, it's going to be a tight spot for us. We have Klingberg. We think if he continues to ramp up for a couple of months, he'll be better come playoff time. So we don't need the defenseman. And they go out and they get a bottom six forward, and that's it. And that is not going to go over very well in this market if they just come away with a bottom six and try to go, well, we already sort of found the right shot defenseman, and, we're happy with the depth there. And Evander Kane will be the top six forward that everybody's desiring.
Yeah, you're expecting now Kane to come back, get some runway prior to the playoffs, and really not miss a beat or a step.
I mean, that's what you're looking at in that situation.
But that's a high-end hope. Yeah. Same with Klingberg. Your high-end hope is that he continues to, all of these things are just way too risky to either expect, or maybe one of them hits. Maybe, again, prove us wrong, but I just don't see. And I know Kane playing for the contract and all that stuff. It's not like he's going to.
He has another year.
Yeah,
on his
I know,
contract,
but still playing for a future type of.
780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Trev, I know yesterday you were saying that you would like just one sort of big deal.
Who scored the overtime winner for the Habs last night?
Mike Matheson. I thought of you when I saw it, Trev. But you were saying yesterday you were hoping just kind of one big deal, as opposed to maybe a couple of smaller deals. Now that you see that Arvidsson has a no movement clause and Henrique has a no movement clause, Trev, have you adjusted your expectations for Friday's deadline?
It's virtually impossible. Like, I don't know what they're going to do, but my expectations were little, and hearing everything from yesterday, they're substantially less now. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. And I forgot to mention this as well, but Stan Bowman, there's an interview over the weekend that I watched, and I'm just paraphrasing here, but he's like, yeah, it's very, very tough. He essentially said, like,
it's hard.
It's hard. He said it was really, really hard. They are so against the cap right now. So with the no trade clauses, with everything going on with the Vander Kane, the cap, you throw it all together. Like, it's tough to make a trade as is, and then you get all that. Like, everything's going against you right now. So if you're expecting a big trade deadline, the more and more I'm thinking about it, like, it's going to be something minor. I'd be blown away if they can pull off something big here, but I just don't see it. You can't. The proof's in the pudding. Look, like, what can they do? They can't do anything. Then a lot of these players, none of them are going to, you're going for teams that are sellers, essentially. And none of these teams, none of the players that the Oilers have want to go to these teams that are bottom feeders, right?
Exactly.
So there's no way.
Here are the players the Oilers could move prior to the deadline. Okay? These are guys who don't have the full no move.
Hit me.
Okay, here's the list.
Oh, gosh.
You tell me where other teams are like, yeah, let's do it. Connor Brown.
Come again.
Kasperi Kapanen. Corey Perry. You can trade Matthias Janmark to 22 teams, and you can trade Evander Kane if you can find a taker to 16 teams. That's it for forwards.
Now.
On the back end,
yeah,
you're not trading Ekholm.
No, keep going.
Bouchard, 3.9.
Bye-bye, Bouch.
There's no way. Kulak, 2.7. But you need Kulak. He's been playing really well.
He's not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere.
And then you've got Amberson, who you have for less than $1 million and is a decent third pairing right shot guy. And you got Stetru, who makes like $787,000. So
bye, Boosh.
Like
nice knowing you.
Your money out here is Connor Brown, Kasperi, like $1 million. They're not going to move Corey Perry. Nobody else is probably going to take Corey Perry. And they're not going to move him.
He's been solid.
I don't know who. If it's money in, money out, I don't know who the money out is. I mean, unless it's Kasperi Kapanen and you're bringing in somebody for $1 million. Like, I guess there's those types of things. But outside of that, man, you're going to need some guys to waive no moves, or you're going to be very limited in what you can do if you don't get the Evander Kane full LTIR money.
So Kapanen is the sweetener to the Kane deal.
Is that what it is? Anyway, frustrating. I want to set everybody up so you know in advance and you can kind of start to brace yourself for it. Possibility of a very frustrating deadline coming down the pipe here.
Sheldon S. wants it big boarded.
Yeah, but we can't even get to a full 10. if you're talking about guys the Oilers could move.
Who's on the watch list?
So it's gonna be interesting. In a perfect world, you're just like Evander Kane's like, I'll see you on April 20th. Bring in a couple of warm bodies, and I'll be back, and the team will be ready and loaded for a Stanley Cup run. But as of this point, by what has been reported, it does not seem that is the situation just yet. A little bit bleak, but let's see if they can get creative.
Prove us wrong.
This is your job.
Yeah, exactly.
You're the general manager of the Edmonton Oilers.
Time to general manage.
You need to find a way. All right, if you're watching over on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us. That would be great. That's the fan zone for fansfirst.ca. Now, in the whole, if they do want to put what Brashad call it, full court press on trading Evander Kane,
full court press,
maybe a possible destination, maybe a deal. I'm gonna get into that. This is just me spitballing around 7:45 today, so that'll be the Nate Trade Watch segment around 7:45 this morning. Let's get into fired up for Gemco Fireplaces. If you have stuff that fires you up, let us know. We can get that too as well. Oh, look who I found over here.
Oh, wait.
It's me, Charlie, the chinstrap penguin.
Charlie, a little have you been to Boston in the past 24 hours, Charlie?
How are you doing today? It's great to be here with all of my friends again. Charlie, the chinstrap penguin.
I like how the accent kind of...
It's all over the place. Charlie doesn't know where he's from. And penguins are all around the world.
The man in the world.
He's probably picked up accents all over the place.
Sure, he's got
I think.
Like no movement clauses.
I think that's probably the... Probably how.
Willie Mike Spears says, hey, guys, the old saying is the best trades are the ones you don't make.
Well, then they're going to make a lot of them. Make a lot of really good deals coming up, I think. All right, let's get into Fired Up for Gemco Fireplaces. Proudly serving Edmonton and area for 45 years and are the authorized dealer for Napoleon Fireplaces. Whether it's gas or wood burning, look no further than Canadian-made Napoleon Fireplaces. All the Napoleon products you need available at Gemco, 9281 50th Street. Get your Napoleon products at Gemco, 9281 50th Street. X-Ray J over in the chat says, look, guys, according to Sportsnet, 5.1 million in cap space plus 5.1 in the LTR with Kane is a lot more room. No, man, the organization is saying it's money in, money out because they don't know if they'll have access to Kane's LTIR space.
That's why we're on the Kane watch.
That's what the conversation has been, X-Ray. All right, so the Dallas Mavericks. Can you imagine being a Dallas Mavericks fan? Like, we sit here this morning, we're like, oh, too many no movements. Not sure what the others are going to do. But the Dallas Mavericks, they went to the final last year. In the last month, they traded Luka.
They went to the final last year.
They were in the finals last year.
Great point.
Like this is not a team that's
ever really
on their way up. They won the West last year.
Why wasn't that talked about more?
They were in the NBA final.
That's the quietest conference champion, I think.
In the last month, they traded Luka for a Band-Aid.
Yes.
A Band-Aid who's barely played since they acquired him. Last night, they lost Kyrie Irving, who'd kind of kept their heads above water because Kyrie's special. He messed up a knee last night?
It was a knee.
Sprained his knee, hit a couple free throws before he left.
And he was crying.
But that doesn't look good. He was crying.
He was in tears at the free throw line.
So I don't know. He's probably just crying because he's a part of the Mavs organization. And then, so fans have been protesting since the trade. It's been awful. And now it was announced that the Mavericks are upping their season tickets by 8%. Here's the quote. It was announced yesterday that they're upping their season tickets by something like 8.41%, citing in the release of the ticket increase, ongoing investment in the team and fan engagement. That's the main reason that they're upping the season ticket prices.
Okay.
Ongoing investment in the team and fan engagement. And I mean, those are two really tough reasons when you just traded away Luka, who just turned 26 because you didn't want to pay him the supermax, but now you're investing in the team. And then fan engagement. I don't know if your fan base has ever been more engaged than they've been the last month because you've completely sewered your organization. Yeah. Like how in the world did somebody in the business department not step in and be like, guys, might not be the best time to announce an 8% season ticket. Like, even if you waited till the offseason, we're just like, okay, let's try to sneak it in. Like, you're already in the spotlight with a fan base that absolutely hates you right now.
Well, and don't get too engaged by bringing in signs that are detrimental to the management, because then you'll get kicked out. But
you can't do that.
Get engaged, not too engaged.
I don't know if it can be any worse for an organization's fan base right now. Like, this is tough. Trev, you got the wrong thing up there. We're fired up for Gemco. There's no way that this could be that's good. Like, the Mavs fans are like, no. You can't have that.
It's good for the ownership, I guess.
So if you were a fan of the Mavs right now, like, how do you stay engaged, Rick? How do you do that? Like, how do you still care about this team? It's one of
those things where you love the patch, right? You love the jersey, you love the Dallas. I guess not even the best uniforms really to kind of be looking at. I always wanted to get a Doncic jersey, but I never did because the uniform sucked.
Yeah.
Just kind of be proud of that. Even Dirk, like, Dirk's like kind of
Dirk's like he'll always be a Maverick, but he's also a fan of Luka. Like even Dirk is kind of siding with Luka.
When the captain of your ship is like kind of looking over his shoulder and having second thoughts.
How do you not wait a few months and let the dust settle before announcing an 8% season ticket increase?
Well, you mentioned the 8%.
And look, we know,
and it was 30% a year ago. I think they raised them again. Like this is coming off the heels of another.
Like the 30%, you just went to the final. You look like one of the brightest futures in the league.
But you combine it all together. I mean, that's a lot in a short period of time. So I don't know.
I feel bad for these fans, and they're fired up.
I think you have to grassroots organize. You continue bringing the fire Nico signs or whatever, or maybe fire somebody else higher. And you just have a little fun with it. That's all you can really do. You can either laugh or you can cry. And
they probably already cried.
Kyrie's crying for you, so you might as well take the piss out of it a bit and do something funny. I don't know, an online something or other. Everybody shows up and stands up with their backs to the court. I don't know. If you can afford it, I guess.
Ryan from SK comes in, says, sounds like the Regina Pats. $40 for my 5-year-old to go to a game, no kids pricing, and they suck.
Well, but that's the Bedard money.
There'd be no kids pricing on a ticket for the Pats? Come on, that seems kind of weird. Anyway, what would be next? What would be next, do you think? Like, so Kyrie's hurt. You traded Luka. Anthony Davis is banged up. They're missing a bunch of their bigs. I've got something. This could work. I think the buyout window might have already closed, but this would be the most Mavs thing ever right now. They buy out Klay Thompson so he can sign with the Warriors in the buyout window. Like that would be just go back to Golden State again. Like that would be the final blow for a Mavs fan. I can't think of any other ways that it would get worse.
But
at
this point, let him set him free.
Let him go.
As a Mavs fan, you're like, what?
Even Klay Thompson's got to be like, oh my god,
we got this. We're here. Yeah. We'll take care of it. You go do your thing.
Klay Thompson has been released. He's signing with the Golden State Warriors
to pursue
and also season tickets are going up by 12%, not 8%.
A 12? Why don't you round it up to 15?
Gotcha. You know? Gotcha. Yeah, that's an ugly look right there.
Maybe they need to rebrand.
Oh, is that the next step?
Keep Mavericks, but you got to do something with that. The logo it's tough. It's a tough brand.
Time to freshen things up.
Yeah.
Time to freshen things up.
Go back to that old Mavericks logo. I'd throw it back. This franchises do this every 20 or then it's the throwback.
Take it back to rookie Dirk logo,
and then people are like, oh, this is
nostalgia.
So yeah, and then nostalgia. Yeah. That's the next step.
I think that's
you just watch. Yeah.
I think that's pretty good. All right, so there you go. That's fired up. Nobody is more fired up right now than Dallas Mavericks fans. And I know Oilers fans are fired up about these surprise no moves, but Mavericks fans are the most fired up.
Time to put the hat back on the M.
Lacombe Drew says, Mavericks, more like Saturix. I don't know if that works. That is not bad, though.
I think for
it's not bad.
Our program, it's...
Most people probably wouldn't read that, but...
That's a 10.
Mavericks, more like Sadrix. All right. We got Craig Button coming up. The Edmonton Oilers. How much flexibility will they have before the deadline, and what could they possibly do with it? We'll get into that conversation with Button for Pro-Am Sports. Also on the way in hour number 2, we'll build a little EST parlay for the Oilers and the Ducks tonight. Weekly confessions coming up. That's become a really fun segment for Spectrum Rental. So 7:30 today, myself, Lieutenant Eric, YouTube Trev will bring confessions to the table. And then we'll get to the Trade Watch. Trade Watch coming up as well. A little bit of could there be a landing spot out there for Evander Kane? And could the Oilers actually get a player they want back?
You found a path.
No, I didn't. I mean, I'm just throwing,
hey, whatever.
I'm just throwing things against the wall here. But we'll get into that from Nate's Construction Leadership and Supervision Program. More details on that around 7:45. Let's get to a sports update right now for the fine folks at Nisku Glass, where I think I took another hit going to basketball. Rocks are flying like crazy right now.
It's that time of year, eh?
God, can we clean up the streets, you savages?
Trudeau.
Let's get to the update with Lieutenant Eric.
Spencer Knight, 41 saves in his debut for the Blackhawks as Chicago would defeat the Kings 5-1, make it 4 straight losses now for LA. The Sharks topping the Leafs 3-2 in a shootout. It was the Rangers shutting out the Islanders 4-zip. The Panthers taking the Cats and Bolts Bowl 2-1 over the Lightning. Mike Matheson would score in overtime as the Habs topped the Sabres 4-3. Montreal have won 5 straight. Caps over to the Senators 5-4 in a shootout. Oilers, they're back home to host the Ducks tonight. It's one of 10 games around the NHL. Join Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas for the GCL Diesel pre- and post-game shows right here on EST, coverage beginning at 6. Another 51-point performance from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander saw the Thunder reach the 50-win mark with a 137-128 victory over the Rockets, make it wins in 10 out of 11 for the Pistons. They dominate the Jazz 134-106. Raptors are in Orlando tonight, one of 9 games. Also, the Lakers are at home to the Pelicans, while the Cleveland Cavaliers aim for 11 straight victories when they visit the Chicago Bulls. And over to the Briar, Kevin Cooey picking up a pair of wins to improve to 2-3 yesterday. He'll take on Brad Gushue's Team Canada later tonight. The Gushue rink improving to 4-0 last night with a 7-3 victory over Manitoba's Reed Carruthers. Brad Jacobs, meanwhile, sits at 3-0. He'll play Saskatchewan's Ryan Kleider this morning and Nova Scotia in the evening draw. Sports Update brought to you by Nisku Glass. We want to thank EST and all the listeners and viewers, and what better way than to give them a deal? Mention Edmonton Sports Talk or present your Nasty Club membership for a 10% discount on windshields, glass, or any of your window and door orders. Call us today to get that ugly broken windshield replaced or to start planning your spring renovation projects now.
Oh, dude. That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me. I'm your huckleberry. I'm your huckleberry. No! Oh, dude. I'm your huckleberry.
Skin that smoke wagon and see what happens.
I'm your huckleberry.
You tell him I'm coming, and hell's coming with me, you hear? Hell's coming with me!
7:04 AM Nasty. Thank you very much for being here. It is the Nielson Show on Edmonton Sports Talk. You can listen on TuneIn. You can listen on iHeart. You can listen at edmontonsportstalk.com. And if you do listen on all of those platforms, please send a link to Edmonton Sports Talk to all of your friends so they too can join in on the listening and the conversationing at 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. If you're watching over on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us. That would be terrific. Closing in on 200, 44 away. So smash that thumbs up for us today. The trade deadline is 3 days away. We are not sure if it will be an active deadline or not for the Edmonton Oilers. That is one thing we will discuss as we continue to work our way through hour number 2 today. We're going to have Craig Button coming up right away. We're going to build a little EST parlay with Coolbet for the game tonight against the Ducks. Weekly confessions coming up around 7:30, and we will dive into that trade watch segment for Nate's construction leadership and supervision program. All right, it is trade deadline week. Craig Button joins us for our partners over at Pro-Am Sports today. Locally owned sports memorabilia and apparel specialists. Gear up for game day. Oilers jerseys, headwear, hoodies, hats from Fanatics, New Era 47, Mitchell & Ness, all in stock now. Located in Edmonton at the corner of St. Albert Trail on 120th Ave or online at proamsports.ca. If you want to gear up for game day, the best place to do it is at Pro-Am Sports. And Craig, we do have a game day today for the Edmonton Oilers, but it is deadline week as well. As a guy who used to call some shots in the league, what's deadline week like for you? Do you get extra excited for this week?
When you're managing and you're within the sanctum of the team, I think all you're really focused in on is trying to find a way to improve your team to make something happen. And you're not nobody's willy-nilly. Everybody's targeted certain areas and tried to look at where those options could possibly be. And the conversations have been going on, and you're just really kind of just staying right in that area. It's interesting because, and I don't think anybody would tell you differently, but it was, you were always going to get a call in the last 5 to 8 minutes. Would you do this? And it was like, I haven't heard from you in 2 weeks, and you're going to phone me right now. Like it was comical. Like you'd go, okay, we had a little board, and I know we did it in Dallas, and I know we did it in, and I did it in Calgary. We had a board. Who do you think is going to be the call in the last 5-10 minutes? And we put it up, and we'd have a little wager in there, like sometimes we were right, sometimes we were wrong, but it was funny. But for me now, I mean, I'm just kind of trying to see where teams are at, what I think they need, and then see what you can have. I'll finish with this thought. There's way more buyers than sellers right now, which to your point, Dustin, you said, how much activity is there going to be? And it's very, very interesting, to think what some of the prices might be because there are so few sellers.
Yeah, it could be very pricey before Friday for sure. The Oilers are in an interesting situation because, it's been talked about and reported that they're not sure when Evander Kane is going to return. And if that is the case, then they probably aren't going to be able to use his LTIR space. Craig, were you ever in a position with a player where you're like, are you coming back, or when are you going to be back? Because we'd like to use this before have you ever been in an awkward spot that they seem to find themselves in right now?
Yeah, I can't think of one, Dustin, and it's very interesting. You have all the medical information. You have everything you need, like with respect to, okay, here's what Evander went through. Here's his injury. What's the recovery? You're getting regular updates on it. I do find it a little bit odd, to be straightforward with you, that okay, so. I mean, maybe his recovery hasn't been what they thought it would be. Maybe there's been some complications. I mean, we know that he had the next part of his surgery. He had another procedure that maybe they weren't expecting. But at the same time, I find it odd. That there's not some definitive timelines here for it.
Craig, your history with no movement clauses, as we found out yesterday that a couple players, acquired by this club during the offseason now have them. It really does make things a lot more difficult for this management group to navigate, and they'll have to get even more uber flexible. But your history with those, and how do you see that kind of putting a stick in the spoke of what the Oilers plan to do this trade deadline?
You know what teams should do? They should have a board, and on their board they should have NAC. No acquire clauses, because the two players they gave no move clauses should have been no acquire. I've said it, and I'll keep saying it. Like, they did not have a good summer of 2024. They did. Oh, by the way, Dylan Holloway scores his 20th goal this season. I mean, it's getting worse by the day when you go back. But to answer your question, it's changed very much now. Eric, with respect to the no move clauses and no trade clauses, do you know how they came about?
No.
Okay, so here's what happened. So, you would give a no trade clause, and which was normal and everything, and then teams would be disappointed with a player's performance. They'd put them on waivers so they could send them to the minors, and they were trying to get them to move to waive their no trade clause. I went through a situation with Igor Kravchuk. So they signed him in Ottawa, and then they get mad at him, and they're going to send him down. So he goes on waivers, and he had a pretty, I think it was $2.5 million. So he was a guy we wanted to get. So I phoned the agent, and I said, what's going on here? Because I didn't want to just acquire a guy, that was something he was disappointed about. And I was assured that Igor would be excited about coming to Calgary. And he came here, was a terrific player for us. But when you try to circumvent something you've committed to, and that's what it all came down to, it was a circumvention by NHL teams. Toronto Maple Leafs did it with Luke Richardson. The St. Louis Blues did it with Mike Keane. And, I inquired about both those guys. I mean, they were on waivers, but, they were committed to those cities. They had signed there. So I didn't claim them on waivers. So now when you got to the CBA in 04-05 on that CBA, players go, you're not going to screw us anymore. So we're going to put in the full no move clause. So it all started because NHL teams were screwing the players after they had made a promise to them.
All right, so there we go. Now Oilers fans are gonna be like, "Thanks a lot, Igor Kravchuk." That's a tough spot.
No, it wasn't Igor, but no, it was other guys too. They did this like, I mean, it was honestly, it was like one of those things. It was like you do that. Sorry, like that was wrong. So the players said, "Okay, we got the power to get a no move clause."
Okay, so the Oilers, we went over the numbers today. They've got up front, they've got 7 no movement clauses. Janmark's got a 10-team no trade list. Evander Kane has a 16-team no trade list. They don't know this Kane LTIR status right now. There's very little flexibility up to the deadline for the Oilers, I think is a fair way to describe it. So if you're going to be limited in what you can do, Craig, what has to be the number one priority in your opinion?
Jeez, it's a good question. It really is, and I think it can go different ways. So let me just kind of go general terms. So we look at the salary cap situation and we see, not a lot of flexibility. So should that prohibit you from trying to do something bold? Bottom line is, a manager's job is to do things that can be difficult, be creative. You have to try to find ways. So I never let a manager off the hook because you don't have cap space. The bottom line is the Edmonton Oilers have created their own situation. So now you're going to follow, well, we're limited. We don't have flexibility. Oh, really? That's the job? Like that's your excuse? I don't buy it. I don't let them get away with it. That being said, if you find that, I'm going to have to say that I'd like to see them get another defenseman.
Yeah.
I'll be straightforward with you. John Klingberg's a 6. Ty Anderson's a 6. They don't have anybody to play in that second pair. I at the beginning of the year, Dustin and Eric, I thought the Oilers, I gave them the benefit of the doubt. We'll see what they can do at the deadline. I believe if they don't make some significant move at the deadline prior to Friday, they're really vulnerable for being eliminated from the playoffs early this year. I think they're really vulnerable.
You out nasty chat here. Nas26 says, Craig said a couple months ago, Oilers aren't good enough to win Cup if they make no changes. He says
That's
they
true.
still won't be good enough. But is there, I mean, again, as you said, unless it's like you're thinking more of maybe a home run hit as opposed to a couple of singles here, hey?
Yeah, I am. I'm thinking, go and get Alex Tuck. Go find a way to get
we've been mentioning his name a ton.
Go get Ricard Raquel. Go get Ricard Raquel. Don't tell me, we were tight here. The manager's job is to go and find ways to be creative. And yeah, you might have to move things. How does Matthias Janmark get a limited no trade clause?
Yeah. Man, I don't have the answer to that. I mean, he's got a 3-year deal. If you give Matthias Janmark a 3-year deal, it should come with no trade protection at all. You gave him 2 extra years. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, that's here nor there. You get to the negotiation, but so he's right. I don't think they do. I don't think they're good enough if they don't make some get some reinforcements there. Yeah, I think that on the blue line, if you can find somebody that can even just fill in and you can spread those minutes around and flip them around, it might help. But I don't think this team is, I said it, they're not a better team today than they were on Game 7. They're not a better team. They're the ones that put themselves in that position. They put themselves in that position, nobody else.
It was funny because last night on Twitter, I saw somebody say, I don't know if it was Ellie Free, it was somebody had tweeted it, what somebody had said, and said the Oilers are looking for some size and some speed and a defenseman that can play both left and right side. And somebody just quote tweeted it with Broberg and Holloway stats from the season. And I was like, that one hurts because it's true. Yeah. I mean, that's not looking good right now. What do you think about lots of thoughts here are Klingberg's a righty, Emberson's a righty. The Oilers should acquire a left-handed guy and play Kulak up on the right side with Nurse, and then just have a veteran guy that you can play with Klingberg or Emberson. Do you have I think Kulak's played pretty well so far this season. But do you like that strategy of play Kulak on the right side with Nurse and just go get whoever you can on the left side to be a third pair guy?
Well, yeah, what I would say to that is it might be your fallback, right? And the fact of the matter is that when Brett Kulak's been good. I mean, you look at the left side, Call, Nurse, and Kulak. It's a really good left side defense. Everybody gets slotted right. But if that's your fallback, I don't think that's a bad fallback. I don't, because Brett has shown that. And then the other thing Brett's shown really, really well is that when the games get harder, playoffs and more challenging, he really raises his game. And I think that certainly that's something that I think could be given that you might not be able to do anything. Yeah, that could be a fallback.
Outside of Edmonton, what other team is intriguing you the most, Craig, between now and Friday's deadline? Is it another team that you're like, oh, I'm very excited to see what they do?
LA Kings. I think the LA Kings are a good team. I find that they might be very similar to where they were at in 2012 and 2014. They need scoring. They need a score. So I bring up Alex Tuch, right? And I said, Alex Tuch would look great in LA. Ricard Raquel would look great in LA. I look at the Tampa Bay Lightning in the East. I think Tampa Bay is another good team. I think they need some more depth. They need they need a third line. Julien Brisebois, in my view, needs to try to create the magic recreate the magic that he had with getting Coleman and Goodrow. That really rounded out a third line and gave that team, some really good, strong play right through their lineup. Those are the teams that I'm looking at. I'm also interested to see what Montreal is going to do. Montreal has the 4 unrestricted free agents. They're tied with Ottawa now. They're right there. I don't know. I don't know what you do with your team if you start trading those guys. We got to get something for them. What you might get is just 15 hard games that's going to benefit all those players by being able to have the spirit to play in them. Because I'm not so sure that when we were able to get a second-round draft pick that will, potentially become a first-round draft pick in 2028. And just so you guys know, we think that player could be really good. We've been scouting the under-12 team, and we think that player might help us in 2033. That's a good way to kill the spirit of your team.
Well, and you mentioned buyers earlier too, Craig, and it is kind of tough looking at the wild card races and, specifically the East. I know the West have a few as well that are kind of, nibbling around the edge, but how tough is that too in trying to kind of navigate? Like you mentioned the Habs, but they've won 5 in a row. Bruins 2 points back of a wild card spot. Don't think too many people expecting them to make much noise, even if they do get there. But how tough is that from a buyer's standpoint to kind of navigate around these teams who maybe don't know if they're in or they're out?
Well, Eric, those are the calls you're making. You're phoning Montreal, you're phoning Boston, you're phoning Philadelphia, you're phoning all those teams, right? Well, where you're at, and those teams are holding you off. St. Louis Blues probably were receiving lots of calls. Utah was receiving lots of calls. You would think that Calgary, but Vancouver. I really think when I talk about the prices going up, because it's a seller's market. Well, I mean, Jim Rutherford said that. During the JT Miller trading them, we were going to have to find, it might have to be 2 moves because we're not a contending team. Well, if you don't think you're a contending team, and when they say contending, I'm talking about Stanley Cup, I find the Bruins and the Canucks are in that same boat. So, and Utah, I think, benefits by playing games. I talk about Montreal. Then, you know what? Bite into that lemon. It's sour. It's sour. What can you get for Brock Besser? What can the Boston Bruins get for, some of their players? And I think that the reality, when Jim Rutherford says we're not a contender, well, what are you doing then? Try maximize your situation. And I think the prices could be really significant because there's so few sellers. But you're and this is going to sound, but other managers that are hoping to get a hold of Montreal, they're hoping that they lose last night. Some of the buyers are going, come on, why Montreal did you have to win? Why did you have to win, Montreal? And you're hoping some of those teams fall off. It's Tuesday. Nothing significant is going to fall off at this point in time.
Craig, as always, man, we really appreciate it. Thanks for the time today, and have fun leading up to the deadline.
Yeah, for sure. It will be fun. Yeah, thanks, you guys. Appreciate you.
There you go. That's Craig Button, TSN head scout and hockey analyst, and joins us every single Tuesday, brought to you by Pro-Am Sports. You mentioned it, you laid it out, like all the teams in the East who think they still have a shot at a playoff spot, and they do.
But he mentioned the biting of the lemon, and you got it.
One of those teams is going to be like, screw it, let's sell, and they're going to get a ton for their players.
Yes,
because a bunch of those other teams aren't going to be willing to do it, and they're gonna cash in big time.
And like the Habs, like Ottawa, we've been waiting for them to turn, right? Like to kind of uptick. So they're a point out. The Rangers too. I mean, they need to kind of
back-to-back 4-0 shutouts for the Rangers. Like,
the Habs are turning on. But you look at a team like Utah or a franchise like Utah. I mean, the first time on the block.
Yeah,
you kind of want to maybe give your like, you know what I'm saying? Each team has a different where they are in their evolution or what's expected of them. Like the Blues, the goaltending is funny because you could squeak into the playoffs and maybe catch a little fire. I mean, nobody's picking them to win the cup, but I mean, for a fan base to kind of say, hey, we got a goalie that just won an international tournament and we're this close and we're just going to jettison it, it's weird.
Yeah, but still, teams find ways to make moves. Like the Rangers just made a move with Colorado. Yeah. And the Rangers are still, you know what? Like, there's ways to find trades.
Putting your feet in the skates of a Canucks fan too. Like, I'd want to, I think the Blues would be more advantageous in hunting down a wild card spot than the Canucks, just on how the season's gone. And you kind of you're more apt to blow that thing up as opposed to the other. But
speaking of the Canucks, did you guys see last night? I saw it popping up on Twitter. Since the JT Miller trade, did you see this, Jeff? JT Miller has more points than Elias Pettersson has shots on goal. Which is...
Somebody's involved Elias Pettersson in a Kane trade proposal in the Paris Jewelers inbox.
No, they haven't. They haven't.
Oh, they have.
You're messing with me. You're making up a funny joke right now, and I don't think it's funny to say things like that.
I will find it for you now.
I'm
on the hunt.
Come on, really?
I will name names.
I'll never believe you. If you don't find it, I'll never believe you.
We're just talking? That was a sour lemon, hey?
The sourest of lemons.
I like the biting into the lemon. We got to use that analogy. That's a rough one, eh?
I like doing it to our kids when they were babies.
You got to do it.
It's a real prick move in a parent. I'm like, oh, hey, Marshall, eat this little thing. And then you bite into it and they're like, and you're like, ha, 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 ha. Take that, you silly little kid that didn't know what a lemon tasted like. See, you can't find it, can you?
No, it's in here. It's just
Who did this?
Here.
Who's
Identify
listening?
yourself.
Oh, own up to this. Who was it? Who sent in a Kane Elias Pettersson trade proposal to the Paris Jewelers inbox?
I found it.
I still don't believe you. Give me the goods. Can I guess? Do they have a handle?
Yes. You'll never guess it.
What's it start with?
It's Wild Thing. No.
What's great movie?
No.
What does it start with? What's the first letter?
A B. It's two names.
Barry the Cheater.
No. Two names. Both start with B.
Bory Butt.
More like Bad Butt. It's Bruce Burns.
All right, Bruce Burns.
And now
Let's go, you crazy bastard.
I paraphrased his text, but he said, obviously a joke. But Evander Kane...
Come on, man. He started the text with it's obviously a joke.
Evander Kane for Elias Pettersson. Vancouver retained 50%.
Oh, that is obviously, this entire thing was just a hilarious joke. A ruse to get me fired up on the Tuesday of deadline
important
week.
To get the full quote.
You're a silly boy. All right, the Oilers are in action tonight. Now the Ducks.
Well,
the Ducks have been playing some pretty decent hockey.
Talking about teams nibbling around,
let's bring up the Ducks' last 10, shall we? We're gonna dive into our cool bet segment here. All right, let's build a little EST parlay tonight. I already think I know where I'm going, and I think we're gonna shoot for the moon tonight. The Oilers are a heavy favorite against the Ducks. The Oilers have owned the Ducks. They've won 8 of the last 10, 8 of the last 9 actually. Now Anaheim in their last 10 win over Seattle. Lost to Calgary. Then they ran off 4 in a row. They beat the Habs. They beat the Stars. They beat the Kings. They beat the Bruins. But then in their last 4, they lost to Detroit. They lost to Buffalo. They beat Vancouver. And then they lost 6-3 to Chicago. So had a decent little stretch in there.
They are a 500. They're 26-26.
But the Oil got to come out with a fire under their butts tonight.
They're back home. They haven't played a home game for the entire month of February.
A fortnight.
Exactly.
Charlie, the Chinstrap Penguin. When was the last time the Oilers played a home game? Oh, boys, it's been such a long time since they played a home game. I'm very excited for them tonight. Hashtag Church.
Charlie, can you say bite into a lemon?
Oh, I would love to bite in a lemon. Bite in a lemon. All right. Here's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna shoot high today. The old Oilers would have beat the Ducks 7-2 tonight. You know what I mean? Like,
okay,
this team needs that type of game.
Yes.
Like, go out and find that swag again. You're going to love it. So here's what we're going to do. Oilers in regulation. Overtime be damned. Oilers in reg, minus 200. We are looking at a Leon Draisaitl goal tonight. Why not? Minus 114.
Why not?
Points. Connor McDavid. Over 1.5, plus 103. If you're thinking, boy, this is a juicy one, you're right, it is. And let's go Evan Bouchard assist. Bouchard assist is minus 176.
He does lead the team in power play assists.
Let's go Bouchard assist, minus 176.
He made it on our trade bait board earlier, didn't he, Trev?
No, he did not. There's no trade bait board.
There never has been.
Bouchard on it. All right, so let's just. It's gonna be a nice little number here. I'll send this over to the. Boys. You basically, we automatically win this thing if Bouchard passes it to McDavid on a power play and then McDavid goes through the box over to Draisaitl for a one-timer. It's pretty much money at that point. So this is what we'll do with our partners over at Coolbet. Oilers in regulation. Draisaitl scores. Bouchard with an assist. And McDavid over 1.5 points tonight. Let's do this, eh? Let's get that over to them. We'll get it. It'll be up on the exclusives page with our partners over at Coolbet. If you're not yet signed up for an account at Coolbet, go to coolbet.com and use the code LOCKSHOP when you sign up, and you get a 100% deposit bonus on your initial deposit. Up to $200. All right, this has been sent away. It'll probably be up by the end of the show because they move very quickly over there. Oilers in regulation. Okay, so what's the reaction like if the Oilers lose tonight, boys? Like in the building, because they beat Carolina.
How's the loss?
I don't care. I mean, a loss to the Ducks is a loss to the Ducks.
Well, you said they are playing good hockey and they're playing for something.
They just lost to Chicago. Let's be honest.
Kings lost to Chicago.
If the Oilers lose to the Ducks tonight, are they booed off the ice?
I don't think you can boo when you haven't seen them in a fortnight.
No, you should love them.
Yeah.
Right? It's in a long distance relationship. And you see that person for the first time and you're just like, whoa, let's kiss. This
conversation is ridiculous. It's ridiculous because we're not going to be discussing a loss. It's not going to happen.
You think this
is one of the a shoe-in, lock of the century. They're back home. If this was on the road,
yeah,
I could maybe,
you could
8:30 down at the Honda Center or something, some voodoo going on in front of 500 fans. But no, McDavid's fired up. He'll be back. He's back.
He should be fired up.
They're back home. That to me is the home cooking.
Last time they played the Ducks,
Gibson stands. Is Gibson today? Dostal? Gibson?
I don't know.
Get goalied
by Gibson 3 days before the deadline.
I'd put a.
Last time they played the Ducks, they won 3-2, but they were outshot 29-26. Take that for what it's worth. All right,
Kelvin C says Oilers barely beat the Ducks last time, but
that's the thing.
When
it was in January. It's March. That was 2 months ago.
Yeah.
So I mean, come on. Mind you, they were playing well then. Although, was that the post-Christmas lull? Might have still been in post-Christmas lull.
And it was post-Christmas lull because they start slow. They're slow starters. They started slow at the beginning of the season. They started slow post-Christmas. And they started slow post-Four Nations.
Hampton Steve says, first game back from a long Eastern road trip, too, boys. Oilers always playing down to the level of their competition. It's all going to equal a close win or a loss tonight. I like that, Todd and YYC. I want the Oilers to put 8 past Gibson so people stop clamoring for a mediocre goaltender.
Well, we'd shut that up, hey?
Probably not. 22 likes away from changing 200. Can we get to that number? Many of you watching right now, even many more listening over on TuneIn and iHeart and EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Slide on over to YouTube. Give your boys a like. Hammer that thumbs up today. We'll get to 22 by the time this guy's done his sports update for Park Mazda. On the other side, we do have weekly confessions. What do you need to confess? Fantasy confessions, life confessions, songs you used to love and know every word to and like to sing confessions from child movies.
And dress up.
We'll get to all those confessions coming up. Plus Trade Watch still to come at 7:45. Evander Kane to who?
Vancouver for Elias Pettersson, 50% retain.
No. Let's get to the update with LT right now.
Oh, yes, the Oilers back home to host the Ducks in one of 10 games around the NHL tonight. We'll get you set here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas, the GCL Diesel pre- and post-game shows. Coverage begins at 6 later tonight. Last night, Spencer Knight, 41 saves in his debut for Chicago as the Hawks defeated the Kings 5-1. LA have dropped 4 straight. Sharks topping the Leafs in a shootout 3-2. Panthers 2-1 over the Lightning. Rangers blanking the Isles 4-zip. Mike Matheson scoring in overtime. The Habs have now won 5 straight following a 4-3 victory over the Sabres, and the Caps defeating the Senators 5-4 in a shootout. Over to the association, another 51-point performance from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. The Thunder have reached the 50-win mark on the season with a 137-128 win over the Rockets. Make it wins in 10 out of 11 for the Pistons. They dominate the Jazz 134-106. 9 games around the NBA tonight, including the Raptors visiting the Magic, the Lakers at home to the Pelicans, while the Cavaliers, they aim for their 11th straight win when they visit the Chicago Bulls. And over to Kelowna and the Briar, Kevin Cooey picking up a pair of wins yesterday to improve to 2-3. He'll face Brad Gushue's Team Canada later tonight. The Gushue rink improving to 4-0 last night with a 7-3 victory over Manitoba's Reed Carruthers. Brad Jacobs, meanwhile, he sits at 3-0. He'll play Saskatchewan's Ryan Kleider this morning and Nova Scotia in the evening draw. Sports Update brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda and dealer principal Mitch Lewicki, who's really looking forward to entering a team into the Briar Playdowns next season.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as a ninja fighting off evil samurai.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
Yo, YEG. Let's kick it. Ice District. Ice District. All right, stop. Collaborate and listen. Ice District open, here's what you're missing. Rogers Place, shining so brightly. Get your tickets, watch McDavid nightly. Can he be stopped? Yo, I don't know. Give him the puck and he'll go to the extreme. Nothing but a sick handle around the D, man, make him look like Yandel. Damn. Game over, the night looms. No more 1/18th and poisonous mushroom. Surprise, it's a new winter garden. I mean Ford Hall, I beg your pardon. Love it or hate it, you better get going. Ice District's the bomb and it's just exploding. If there was a problem, yo, he solved it. You're on the hook while Kate's just profits. Ice District. Ice District. Ice District.
7:34 on the Nielson Show. Our Nielson Show songs are brought to you by Totem Outdoor Outfitters. New gear, used gear, trade and consign, a sport for every season with hockey equipment and skates ready to go year-round. A family store that takes pride in finding the right fit for you. Visit them at 7430 99th Street or online at www.totemoutfitters.ca. 7430 99th Street, www.totemoutfitters.ca. All right, the Nielsen Show is brought to you by South Fort Chevrolet. Drive a little, save a lot. Go see Daniel and his dream team out at South Fort Chev. I think we're going to have another staff member from South Fort Chev slide on in this month at some point.
For a draft?
No. I don't think for a draft. I think we're going to do what they do on Hello Hockey with those blind rankings. Hey, you see those blind rankings videos pop up and stuff? That was fun. Trev, you could set up some blind rankings, right? And then we could do the rankings with the guests from South Fort.
Yes, I can.
I think that would be fun. We'd pick a topic or...
Yes, I can.
Enthused.
I can do it. Yes.
I know you can, Trev.
I can do
I
it.
have the utmost of faith in you, Trev.
Thank you.
All right, so that'll be coming down the pipe here at some point in March, I think. We got Trade Watch for Nate. We're going to get into that coming up as well. A possible Evander Kane deal, you say? Probably not, but it's fun to spitball.
This is the week where there should be no wrong answers.
No wrong answers.
And everybody's like, oh, why don't we do this? What a stupid idea.
Yeah. Well, I would say this. There could be stupid ideas, but there's no wrong answers.
Show your work. Yeah, show me how you get there. We can discuss.
Anyway, we'll get to that for Nate's Construction Leadership and Supervision Program, the presenting sponsor of all of our trade deadline covers this week right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. We're 6 away from changing 200. Tommy No Wrench is in the chat today. Tommy will have pre and post tonight. He's not going to be on the Hangout today. The Hangout today is a nice treat.
Oh, this is going to be something
Reed
else.
Wilkins, YouTube Trev, and some guests scheduled by Reed that I can't remember off the top of my head right now. But you're going to get Reed Wilkins and YouTube Trev. Have you ever done anything with Reed, really, Trev? Like, you ever been on a mic with Reed?
No.
Oh, wow. I'm excited for you.
I'm excited too.
That's going to be a good time.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I was listening to Reed when I was in college, and it was big news. Like, it made its way down south. Like, when you hired Reed there.
Yeah.
Like, the guys were like, "You're working. You got to work with Reed." And I'm like, "Yes, I do."
The bookbinder.
I do. So yeah, it's going to be really cool. I'm looking forward to it.
I've had more AI bookbinder photos sent to me.
The bookbinder of Alberta.
Those ones look good. You see the ones that came in last night? Were you on that too?
That's kind of what I've envisioned.
That's
the whole
what
time.
I envisioned
exactly.
too. Yeah.
Are you hosting or is Reed hosting?
Reed's hosting it.
I'd really love it if
I'm
Trev
going to
could-
host.
Yeah. That's how it should be.
Yeah, you should host.
Yeah.
I'm hosting.
I'll take those.
I'm YouTube
And
Trev.
what's your name?
This is the
Reed.
bookbinder. Yep.
Anyway, gonna be a fun hangout today, and then Tommy will have the GCL Diesel pre and post
Just joking.
a little bit later on. Film producer Adam Scorgi. Adam Scorgi will be in.
Adam Scorgi.
He's done a bunch of good
talking
stuff.
a little cinema. You like the film?
Yeah, that'll be good.
Right after the Oscars, are you kidding me? And he's an Oilers fan. Like, great conversation coming up today. I hope you can get into the cinematic shots of the movie Wild Things.
Yes,
as we watched it over the weekend. Right, that'd be one of those watch things we can do where we get everybody together. We rent Gardner Theater and we go watch Wild Things.
Yeah.
Get them to watch my short
middle-aged guys.
My short film, The Chamber. With some tips.
Yeah, actually.
What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, we should
Do you
have
like
them
the angle of
review
this
the
shot?
Chamber.
Yeah.
You give us a little pointers for EST shorts moving forward. We got a couple in the chamber. Click, click. That's what we've got. All right, let's get into weekly confessions. You can text your confessions to 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Weekly confessions, as always, brought to you by Spectrum Rental, where they confess to having a shop full of construction heaters. So get yours now before you don't really need them. Spectrum Rental, keeping your project on time. At Spectrum Rental, they're also hilarious. And if you like to do business with hilarious people who also like things that you like our show, then Spectrum Rental is where you should be renting your heaters. You know, a quick question on this. Today I went out and my windshield was completely frozen. But when it was like minus 20, there's no frost.
It's the moisture.
Like, how's this work?
Yeah, it has to do something with.
Is that what it is?
Because I noticed the same
dew
thing.
point.
I noticed the same thing this morning. I'm like, what the heck is this?
I was rolling out all happy. I was like, we're moving along. And then I was like, what? How is this frozen now? And it hasn't been frozen for like a month.
It's really dry when it's really cold. So that kind of a hint there. Eh?
I hated it.
Moisture.
So that would be like the dew settling in on the vehicle and then it freezes? Is that basically what we're looking at? Nobody knows, really.
I'm sure if you Google.
No, Clausen, let us know. Why do windows freeze some nights, but not others?
Grass was nice and crunchy this morning on the walk.
I was wondering if you walked today. It was a little chilly.
I had to cross some grass because there was a man wielding a bag very aggressively. So I went to the other side.
Good idea. The last thing I want is to be driving to work and seeing you fist fighting somebody on the street.
Wouldn't that be a scene?
At 5:10 in the morning? Yeah. All right. Let's get into our confessions. What are you confessing this week, Rick?
I got a couple here, and I'll make them quick because I know Trev's got a big whopper that he wants to get to here.
You have to do it, Trev. You have to do it.
We got to pop
It's
this
not
zip.
that bad. It's not that bad.
It's a classic Trev confession.
It's
I
not
love
bad
it.
at all.
No.
Yeah, I think what it leads to could be amazing.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's not
birth
leading to
something
nothing.
great.
It could lead to that, though.
It will lead to something.
I'm going to say it possibly could.
It will.
Well,
Okay.
I'm saying no. I am not doing it.
Anyway, Trev's confession coming up. What do you got?
I confess I do miss Zach a bit around the office here. Him bounding in every morning at around 10 to 11.
We were on a call with Zach yesterday. It was great.
I see him enough on social media, I guess, but his physical presence here. I'm a little disappointed in Quinn Phillips.
What?
My wife and I invited her to join a curling team for an upcoming Bonspiel. She had to deny.
For the media bonspiel?
No,
Oh, just
another
a different one. Well, you guys are bonspiel buddies.
At the Granite, I wanted her.
Wow.
But she, better things to do, I guess. And my third and last confession is I'm in the process of purchasing an Energy City Cactus Rats ball cap.
You are?
I just have a question. Blue or black?
I think for the Cactus Rats, I go blue.
Because it is one of their colors on the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody's got black hat, Black hats.
We'll get into that a little bit coming up after 8 o'clock, the new name of the prospects.
Yeah,
that's not bad, actually. They did go full minor league ball, though.
The
Like
NE 39. Oh, did they ever?
Yeah. It's one of maybe what you had to do, I guess.
Yeah.
Minor league ball teams are best when you don't technically know what city they play in. They're based on their name. Right, you're just like, what's this mean?
There was the one that a week ago, that toaster oven. They rebranded as like the toaster ovens or something. You
a
saw
minor
that
league
one?
ball team?
Yeah,
great idea. We have a toaster oven.
Logo was
like a lot of people
was
toaster
awesome.
ovens. Here, do you have any other confessions?
That's it.
Okay. I have one confession. My confession is when I go into Shoppers Drug Mart, I get rattled if the makeup lady doesn't ask how I'm doing.
They are the greeter, the quasi greeter.
Yeah, they're always there. And if I walk in, I'm always like, well, I'm going to get to talk to the makeup lady today. And then sometimes they'll always be like, how are you doing? I'm like, fine, thank you. And then it's not like I sit down and have a conversation. But when the makeup lady slights me, I get pretty rattled. And it really pisses me off because I wear makeup. Like during the CFL season, I'm a big makeup boy. N22 from MAC. Yeah. Like I got the brush and everything. And I'm not good enough to have to ask from the makeup person about me? I wear makeup.
You should hit her with some of that terminology sometime.
I should. Yeah,
like,
I'm in for the N22 from Mac.
It's like when somebody doesn't know you speak a different language, and then you just go off like in Mandarin, and then it's like, ooh,
you know what? I should do that when they don't talk to me. If they don't say hi, I should be, hey, quick question.
Yeah.
You guys got Mac N22? And then they'll be like, damn it, we should have said hi to this guy.
And then when they say they do, go, don't
worry about it. I was just curious if you had it. Oh, man.
Pull it out next time. The next time they don't
I should.
you. Yeah.
But I don't know. It just rattles me. I'm always excited for the hello from the Shoppers Drug Mart makeup lady. And when I don't get it, it just it drives me nuts. Tube Socks and it says, guys, confession. It was only this past weekend when I realized that dorky blonde guy in the Gillette ads was an NBA player.
Grady Dick.
I saw some Raptor highlights and went, by God, that's the guy from the Gillette ads. Actually, Tube Socks, he wasn't an NBA player before. They just liked the ads, and they're like, it's the Raptors. They have a horrible roster. They're like, maybe this guy can play ball.
Yeah, he should be more of a Gillette ad guy than a ball player, really.
All right, Trev.
Terrible commercial, by the way. Terrible.
Yeah, I don't like that commercial either.
What yeah?
Everything who goes like this, like before they or like? Do you guys after
I'm
shave?
So
you go,
smooth. Look at this. Smooth. Look how smooth.
Nobody does that.
I think I'm gonna start.
Yeah, nobody does that. I want to see a real shaving commercial where after they just cut to a shot of a filthy sink, and that's how it ends. Yeah. Like, come on.
Yeah, that's how it should be because that's how
Let's
every
get
single
reality shaves.
Yeah,
that's what we need. All right, Trev, what are you confessing this week?
I got nothing. I'm a clean slate. I'm an open book. I've got nothing.
Just let it go, Trev.
Okay, well, the word's out, okay? I spilt the beans last week. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. Dusty said he was going to Frozen.
I was going to Frozen, yes. Great play.
And
it's a children's movie, right?
It's nothing, yes.
Yeah.
It's nothing too crazy, but I think I said... Oh gosh. Yeah, you know what? I said it. I said that is one of my favorite movies growing up. That was I went home every single day, not even joking, when that first came out, and so much homework to do. I said no.
How old were you?
Grade 10. So I was pretty older.
But you said you were a late bloomer.
Yeah, I was.
So
I was. I didn't hit puberty then. So technically I was in like grade
10,
6.
you would go home and watch Frozen.
Still a boy.
Yeah. And so I'd go home, and I still to this day let it go. I remember there wasn't Spotify back then. It was just Apple Music.
Yeah.
And I just got my new iPhone. It was the iPhone 4S, I believe, or it was the iPhone 5S, something like that. And it was the first song I ever bought on iTunes, or was...
I didn't know this.
Yeah, I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Like an onion.
But it was... It's not that funny.
I love it.
Yeah, and so I'm a huge Let It Go fan. I love Let It Go, and I told Dusty, I was like, I can sing that song word for word.
Every single word of Let It Go, this guy knows.
Yeah, and so I drove home that day and I put it on because it had been a while, and so I was listening, and it turns out there was one part that I was a little rusty, but
whatever. I mean, that just happens, right?
Yeah, and so I like that song. I like Let It Go, and it turns out I actually don't mind a good chunk of all the princess movies. I love Tangled. Tangled's a classic. I think it's really good. And I think Let It Go is one of the best songs maybe ever. I said it.
I love you, man.
It is so good.
I love you.
I tell you what, when I was driving home, I was letting it go. I felt really, really good about myself. And I was singing, and people were looking at me, but I don't care. So you know what? That is my confession, and it's not that big of one. It isn't. This is easy for me. I don't care.
And full costume as well, we discussed, right? For the performance.
It's funny because when I left that day, Trev was like, maybe you'll see me on the stage tonight. And I was like, my God, can you imagine if Trev at the play, like when they were singing Let It Go, Marshall's like, just like Trev. I said, that's right, man. Trev also knows every word to this song.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I suggested that, you know how at the Estes we like to have some musical performances?
Yeah.
We had 2 musical performances last year. I'm sure Maddie will try to schedule 2 or 3 musical performances for the Estes this year.
Slots.
I am telling you, it would be the greatest moment in Edmonton sports talk history if we get to go up and we're like, okay, up next, our next musical performance, it's YouTube Trev singing Let It Go.
Yeah,
Trev, you would bring the house down.
No,
I'm talking when you hit that part where they do the one Let It Go, like when she first hits it, it's standing ovation.
Let it go.
Standing ovation.
That's the crescendo.
This guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
I would get made fun of for the rest of my life.
I need it.
I would have footage with me for the rest of life, and I would no longer be YouTube Trev. I'd be Frozen Trev, and I wouldn't be able to. I mean, it would haunt me.
Yeah.
You know how embarrassing that would be?
It would be amazing is what it would be.
No, some days I go home, I'm like, why'd I say that on the radio today? I'm so stupid. And then I go home and I'm like, oh my gosh, why'd I dress up as Elsa and sing Let It Go?
After the Estes?
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure. That would haunt me.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd ever be able to be seen in public.
I don't even think you need to dress up as I wasn't even suggesting that. I love that you thought about it.
I am.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
No, but
you can't just be up there in a tux.
At the
yes, you could. That would be
I'm not wearing a
full dress. I want a performance. A ribbon.
Juan is in and says the Muzz to Trevor. Did we just become best friends?
Yep.
No, but even Tammy was on board with this. Tammy's like, can you imagine at the Estes if Trev is doing like the first part of the song in some sort of suit, and just like in the play when like she gets the big hit, she went like this, and like the first dress got ripped off and she had the fancy dress underneath. Can you imagine if Trev was just in like in a regular suit and then went like this and he had like a shiny silver suit on underneath?
I can.
Yeah.
It would be incredible. Yes. Absolutely incredible.
So that's confessions today. Honestly, it's pretty minor in my books. I'm not too. This is fine. I'm okay with getting that out there. It's okay to be you, and it's a great song. If you haven't listened to it, I suggest you do because it's actually quite motivational. She's breaking free. She's been held back her whole life, and now she can just let it go.
See, this is you. You'll be letting it go on stage, right? Like he feels trapped here in a sense.
Right.
You're trapped inside your vehicle singing it to yourself.
Right?
Maybe I just need to let it go voice.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Trev, I think if you were to sing Let It Go on stage at the Estes, it takes your whole career to another level.
Yes.
I swear to God.
I don't believe that.
I think your confidence level would be so through the roof.
Because I'd be a walking meme everywhere I went. That's why. They'd be like, you're the guy.
Point.
No. That's the point. No, man. You know how the Nasties are. Like the 200 to 300 people in attendance at the Estes are going to be like, that's our guy.
Yeah.
That's Trev. They would support you
That's
so
YouTube
much.
Trev, and right now he is letting go.
The host of the Hangout.
As Zach once said, endlessly supportive team.
Yes.
That's what it would be. Anyway,
That's funny, Tommy. What's funny is how no one is surprised in the nasty chat. But it's true. Like I literally every day, there was a 2-week span. I went home as soon as it was released. I have the DVD, and I just go home. I'd put it in my Xbox. I'd get some popcorn, and I just watch.
You just straight up watched it from start to finish. Like you weren't even doing other stuff.
No. And as soon as I was done, I'd get ready for supper, I guess, and just go.
So what's the character's name that goes? Doo-hoo? Who's that guy? The guy who sells the
if anyone
carrots.
does that.
Sells the carrots.
Yoo-hoo. Big summer blowout.
Yeah, big summer. Yeah, see, he gets it. Yoo-hoo. Big summer blowout.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, everyone's so great. I love that movie. And yeah, if you haven't watched it, watch it, please. I haven't watched actually Frozen 2, though, because...
You haven't?
Nah, I didn't hear good things.
I didn't mind it.
I didn't want to...
And they're making a third one, too.
Ugh.
So that'll be...
Brother.
That'll be
Anyway.
a big one.
So if you ever... Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. But it's a good song, seriously. When you drive home tonight, listen to it. Think you might like it. Luke, Raimai, I know they got a good taste in music.
They do. They do. They
pretty
probably
sure
love it.
They'd like this one, too.
They probably love it. They might even be the band behind you as you sing "Let It Go."
Wouldn't that be something?
Wouldn't that be something? Whale and the Wolf.
I'm sure they'd be all for
playing
that.
"Let It Go" and Trev singing.
Maybe get Jason Milne's old band back together. They could.
Brody.
One-time performance.
This is Frozen
Let It Go.
Trev featuring Brody.
But
doing,
Brody could also be. They could also be.
Let it go.
A musical act at the Estes. Got a few options. So, yeah.
Look at this unsigned text. I'm a 30-year-old tradesman, Trev. I could absolutely nail Colors of the Wind from Pocahontas.
See?
There you go.
It's
See,
out there.
That's
quite a pull.
This is why we do confessions.
Yeah,
Sean,
is
this
there
is
any
why we
other
do
princess?
confessions.
And some princess movies have.
I'll say,
really good
I'll say
songs.
this. I absolutely love the soundtrack of Encanto.
Oh.
Okay.
Encanto has a great soundtrack.
Seansy's talking up the
And-
Aladdin. The Aladdin had some hits.
better.
You ain't never had a friend like me. Right? Who's that? Charlie the Penguin?
Correct. Yeah.
I also love the soundtrack of Moana. Moana's got a great soundtrack. That's what Marshall and I did karaoke when we were back
And
home
who
at Christmas
doesn't
time.
shut out the intro to Lion King all
What
the time?
can I
right?
say except you're welcome?
That whole thing. We can all do that. We should actually all do that as a station to kick off
the
the
whole
evening.
crew up there.
I don't mind that.
And then we lift up Brundon. Like the Simba cam.
We could do a whole evening of Disney show tunes.
Anyway, your confession hits again, Trev.
Yeah.
It hits again.
Unbelievable.
okay.
The experience.
Keep them coming. Colin the Amishman says, next confession we hear is going to be something like, yeah, when I go home, I used to hang upside down in my closet like a vampire. And everybody's just going to go, classic Trev. You're trying to get your nosebleed. That's what you were hanging upside down. You're like, come on, this must be the way.
Do you like wearing jeans?
Not really.
Infatuation with teen burgers?
What does that mean?
No.
I like Team Burgers.
Good. The experiences.
Oh, yeah.
Reincarnated.
No, Jeff Walker was something, but Trev is no, back at the old station, Jeff Walker we called the experience because he had a couple of
It was
things. But Trev's got like everything.
Yeah.
It's experience on roids.
Yes.
Thank you.
HGH.
Thank you.
Adam from Lloyd says, is this Disney XM or EST? He also, his text right before that was the bookbinder AI thing.
Nice.
So that works out as well. RSO Cody says, you too, Trev, in my early 20s, I would never sing in public. But in my early 40s now, I would just own it and really ham it up.
It's easier said than done.
I think it would be.
I've never sang in public before. I have a hard time. I had a hard time saying a speech at the SCs last year, let alone friggin' singing a song.
This is why singing would take it to the next level for you.
Let it
This
go.
text is in from an unnamed number. As someone who played the Spice Girls CD nonstop growing up, I fully support YouTube. It's like, tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I'll
happens.
tell you what I want, what I really, really want.
I guess that would be
I want.
my guilty pleasure song.
Yeah,
Right?
we all have them.
Yeah, I just didn't realize it was that one.
All right. Fun confessions this week. Spectrum Rental. He's still singing "Let It Go." Over there in the corner.
He likes doing it off
He's
camera and
a
off
natural.
mic.
The kid's a natural. I mean, what can we say? It's gotta
Turn the
happen.
mic on.
Vitamin J says Frozen 2 is an awesome sequel. Yeah, I liked Frozen 2. We've watched it a bunch of times. Oh, wow. Trev 15 says, is this the start of the Disney song draft? Lion King for the win. Do that
boy.
Lion King start again. How'd you do it?
Yeah.
I know. Ah, so good. I heard yesterday on the Reed Wilkins show, Reed dropped, we need that clip of the turtle in Robin Hood cheering for his dad when he's like, "Yay, Dad!" I was like, man, that is a good Disney movie drop. The bookbinder strikes again.
You've got a friend in me.
Oh yeah,
Right?
see, I mean,
Randy Newman.
Oh god,
Be our guest. The whole new world.
we
for
could do
Aladdin
a Disney music draft, 12 rounds easy, if not 14.
Still have to do that draft of birds. Right, Trev?
The bird draft. Bird draft's still sitting in there. Larry, first rounder.
Well, where does... I mean,
oh, yeah.
You've got a new kid on the block
Charlie,
here.
the Chinstep Penguin. Draft me. Draft me. All right, let's get into Trade Watch for Nate. Yeah, I've got this one idea. I've got this one little thing. Which is good. We got about 5-6 minutes that we can hit on this. Evander Kane. What do you do? What was the term Rashags used? Full court press. Full court press to move Evander Kane this week. That's what he would look at. Take your career to the next level with Nate's Construction Leadership and Supervision Program, a perfect tool for professionals looking to advance their role or an organization needing to develop leaders. For more information, visit nate.ca/CLSP to take your career to the next level. That's nate.ca/CLSP. Maybe you've been a journeyman for a while and you're like, damn it, I want to be one of those bosses. Well, you go take this program, qualifies you, you move on up. You move on up like that song. Moving on up.
Won't be in the draft.
Probably not. You'll hear of Trade Watch on Two Guys today, EST Afternoons, and the Reed Wilkins Show as well. Okay, so just let me cook here for 1 second. That's not a lot of cooking.
Set the table.
I'm not making a lasagna. I'm heating up old mac and cheese.
Old mac and cheese. Yeah. Heating up old mac and cheese?
That's okay. I love heated up mac and cheese.
Okay, fine.
Okay, so Evander Kane. What team out there? Like, first, there's a lot of different steps if you're full court pressing this Evander Kane thing. First of all, you have to try to figure out a market that he would approve a trade to.
Yes, because there's a list of...
What do we... was it yesterday we talked about it, or was it with Tommy? When it's like, he's been in Buffalo, Atlanta, Winnipeg, San Jose. Yeah. Like, he hasn't really got to go live that Evander Kane lifestyle
in Utah,
in a bigger market, right? Like, so what about Boston? What about Boston? Okay,
Beantown.
Boston has enough cap space right now to just bring Evander Kane in. Just bring him in. They could do it. They have enough cap space to get that done. Are the Boston Bruins an organization that would be desperate-ish enough to be like, you know what? We don't want to be this team that's outside of the playoffs all the time. He's got cap hit next year, but we could work with him. Maybe he scores 25 for us and we kind of are still relevant. Like, could they be the organization that's hanging on enough? Now, the Oilers, a lot of Oilers fans have identified Trent Frederick as a guy who they would like to go out and get.
Mm-hmm.
Trent Frederick is a UFA at the end of the year. So the Oilers would be completely moving off the Evander Kane cap hit next year if they wanted. Is there a deal that you could structure between the Bruins and the Oilers that would see Evander Kane go to the Bruins, a team that I think still has some dreams of being relevant, and Trent Frederick, who's a UFA, coming the other way? Frederick makes 2.3. Kane makes just over 5. So the Bruins would be adding about, 2.7 to the almost $6 million in cap space that they have. So they'd still have like over $3 million to deal with.
Throwing a Brandon Carlo?
Now, what? No, I know people are going to say stuff like that. Like, I think that's probably getting a little ridiculous. But could you get Trent Frederick as a UFA for Evander Kane? And what has to be added on either side of this, do you think? Like, do the others have to add picks because they're sending more salary the other way? Or could the Bruins actually value Evander Kane and just give up Trent Frederick and say, we'll take the Kane contract next year?
I wonder what's going on in Seabass's mind. Maybe he would.
I mean, they're run by a power forward.
Right.
Who might be like, oh, yeah, sexy power forward boy. Could still go get him.
And it'd be an interesting market for a player such as him, fitting the DNA of what he brings to the ice. But if you're going Frederick hunting, you might as well.
But Frederick's a UFA,
don't leave
right?
Without
so
Carlo.
I
mean, let's really. What else could you add?
Do the others have to add to an Evander Kane that's under contract to get a expiring UFA in Frederick? Trev, do you think they'd have to add to that to get Frederick? Would they have to add to Kane? I think they'd have to add to Kane here.
I mean,
to get him, but he's also a UFA. Like, you're getting 2 months of Frederick. If the Bruins actually see value in Evander Kane, they might be like, you know what, we can run Kane next year. Hopefully he scores a bunch of goals for us, and you're not going to get anything for Frederick if you don't keep him anyway.
Yeah, that's kind of a lame answer, but I could see both. Like, just one for one, I get, but I could also see the Bruins being like a little bit of a sweetener Trent
from
Frederick,
the Oilers, like to take on Kane,
just a little bit. Yeah, obviously there is a little bit more cap there, but Trent Frederick doesn't bring what Evander Kane does, right? So the Oilers could counter argue with that. He's never been, at least I'm aware, he's never been a 20 goal scorer. At least he's had multiple 20 goal seasons. Evander Kane has done that. He's provided physicality. But then you've got the little bit of baggage there. So I think it would have to be a little bit of a sweetener, maybe like a third or something like that.
All right, what say you? 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Could there be something there where the Oilers move out Kane, they get rid of that money, maybe they include a little bit of sweetener, and they get Trent Frederick to come in. He's 27. You get to look at him for a couple of months. The cap going up next year, maybe there's a reasonable number that could be had there. Penner's Pancake says, I think Frederick is out week to week. Is he not? What's his current status? Do we know his current status? How injured is he?
He's out. As of right now, it just says out.
Just out. That's it. It's just listed
week
as
to
out.
Week. Lower body injury.
Week to week?
He's saving himself.
Deal with a week to week.
He's saving himself.
Anyway, you can chime in on it. Trade Watch, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999.
Now your DMs are going to get lit up, eh?
Oh, yeah. Somebody going to...
For suggesting somebody like that.
Threaten my life now. All right. There we go. Oilers skate this morning. Not surprising. It'll be an optional skate for the Oilers this morning as they get set to take on the Anaheim Ducks. All right, coming up in hour number 3, Gager's going to pop by. We've got your GCL Diesel Orange and Blue Breakfast, Marmot Basin Snow Report, the wrap for William Huff. We still need some questions. 3 questions too many today. So let's get that. Sports questions, non-sports questions in the Paris Jewelers inbox at 780-218-9999 or over in the Nasty Chat. You can do that as well. Submit your questions for 3 questions too many. We do need somebody to play Kind of Easy Trivia right now, though. If you want to play Kind of Easy Trivia, just fire Trev a text, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. And a gift certificate to Mr. Mike's is awaiting. You just need 3 of 5 correct. So text Trev right now, 780-218-9999, and get that gift certificate to Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual. Let's get to a sports update right now with Lieutenant Eric for Windsor Plywood Leduc. If you're looking for anything to build anything, they've got you covered. Eric's got more on that after the update.
Game day on EST as the Oilers return home to host the Ducks in one of 10 games around the league later tonight. We will get you set. Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas, the GCL Diesel pre- and post-game shows here on the station. Coverage starts at 6 this evening. Action last night. Spencer Knight, 41 saves in his debut for Chicago as the Hawks would knock off the Kings 5-1. Sharks topping the Leafs 3-2 in a shootout. It was the Panthers over the Lightning 2-1. Rangers shutting out the Isles 4-0. Mike Matheson scoring the GWG in OT as the Habs topped the Sabres 4-3 in overtime. Montreal's 5th straight win in the Caps over the Senators 5-4 in a shootout. Over to the NBA, another 51-point night from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander as the Thunder hit the 50-win mark on the season, 137-128 over Houston. 10 wins out of 11 for the Pistons. They dominate the Jazz, 134-106. 9 games around the NBA tonight, including the Raptors visiting the Magic. Lakers at home to the Pelicans, while the Cavaliers, they'll shoot for 11 straight wins when they visit Chicago. Over to curling, morning draw at the Briar about to get underway in about less than a half an hour time. Kevin Cooey, he picked up a pair of wins to improve to 2-3 yesterday. He'll take on Brad Gushu's Team Canada later tonight. The Gushu rink improving to 4-0 last night with a 7-3 victory over Manitoba's Reed Carruthers. Brad Jacobs, meanwhile, he sits at 3-0. He'll play Saskatchewan's Ryan Kleider in the morning draw and Nova Scotia later tonight. Sports update brought to you by Windsor Plywood Leduc, locally owned and operated, serving Leduc and the surrounding area since 1993. Doors, flooring, baseboards, and of course, plywood. Go see the knowledgeable staff at Windsor Plywood Leduc.
Well, very impressive. Taking a few years to put all this together.
It's not a one-year quest because it's so hard to get your hands on. At this stage of my life, I don't invest in green bananas. It's a lifetime quest. Just not sure if I'm going to be around long enough to see them ripen to be yellow. You can't party enough when you win that thing. It's a party machine. Party machine. That's why it's the Stanley Cup. It's hard. It's hard.
Party all the time. All right. Tomorrow, Chinstrap Charlie sings along with Party All the Time.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, we'll get that done. It is the Nielson Show. If you're listening on TuneIn or iHeart or EdmontonSportsTalk.com, thank you very much for being along for the ride today. Tell your friends about EST. The word of the text, just send them a link and they too can hop in on the fun on one of our very convenient platforms. If you're watching over on YouTube today and you've not yet subbed to the channel, that would be great as we make our push towards 11.4K. I think we're almost to like 11,340. So sub to the channel. We would love that. And hammer the thumbs up if you haven't already as we try to make a push to 300 likes here in the third hour of the show. We are 62 way. RCN says, who is singing this at the Estes? Oh, man. Party all the time. That would be a good one, too. There's so many options for musical performances. I mean, I think we have to slot Trev and Let It Go into one of the main spots. But outside of that, it's still kind of wide open. We could also definitely do a karaoke night at some point. Right? Just go to a bar and just say you could only sing AM Nasty songs.
Bring the machine in here, yeah.
We got a machine. The Muzz got a little karaoke machine for her birthday. You just hook it up to the. You can just like follow along on the lyrics on YouTube, but sing into the machine. It's pretty convenient. My parents spend hours doing it.
I can see
what happens.
I can see that.
You're older. You just want to do karaoke for like 3 or 4 hours. They'll do it for 3-4 hours.
Did your dad dress up?
He would like to.
He loves a good dress up.
He loves
Our
dressing
HR
up.
daddy.
HR daddy loves dressing up. He really does. That was what he wanted to do with the Estes last year. Remember I told you? He wanted to dress up as Ann Ramsey and do an Owen bit at the Estes. I was like, no. It's not happening.
Stop chaining him.
Yeah,
let him go.
No,
let him spread his wings.
I got to keep that guy under wraps or he'll hurt himself. All right, Gage around 8:30. GCL Diesel Orange Brew Breakfast. Marmot Basis Snow Report. The wrap for William Huff. All still to come. 3 questions too many for Park Mazda. If you have any questions for 3 questions, submit those right now. 780-218-9999. Or over on the Nasty Chat, feel free to throw those out there as well. Trev, who's playing Kind of Easy Trivia today, buddy? Who do we got?
This is Kent.
All right, Kent is going to play Kind of Easy Trivia today. Looking to get his hands on a gift certificate to Mr. Mike's. He must have 3 correct or he will not win. Is he ready to stake his claim? Head to Mr. Mike's for a 2-course steak dinner for just $39.99. Start with an Emperor Caesar salad. Or a rustic onion soup. She be tasty. Then enjoy our tender 7-ounce sirloin steak with béarnaise butter and garlic mashed potatoes. Loaded with savory toppings. Mr. Mike's. Eat locally. Enjoy casually. And a new location coming soon. All right. Who's playing again?
Kent.
This is Kent.
All right. I wonder if it's, you think it's Kent from CTV?
Or Ken Simpson.
Or maybe Kent Simpson out of Kelowna.
Lots of Kents.
Let's find out. Let's find out which Kent this is. Good morning, Kent. Who are you?
None of the ones you mentioned, but that's okay.
That's okay. That's okay. You're still fine. You're just fine, Kent. Here we go. Trev will start the ticker Kent. After I read the first question. Good luck, man. You need 3 of 5. Here we go. Who do the Edmonton Oilers play tonight?
Anaheim.
What position does John Gibson play?
Goaltender.
How many players on the Oilers have the last name Skinner?
At least 2.
Which Hall of Fame defenseman played for both the Oilers and Ducks?
Pronger.
Which current Oiler won a Hart Trophy with the Ducks?
Corey Perry.
Boom. 5 for 5. Huge sports nut.
No! Oh my God. Damn it, Shake. Stop it. They are going to remember that AM radio is a viable and modern source for news and entertainment.
Totally.
People don't listen to AM like they used to. Seems like it's more about FM and color TV.
That's stupid.
It sure is, Kevin.
I'm stoked. You stoked?
I'm stoked.
Just
I'm
so stoked.
You cannot come to my house. No, not today.
Cannot come to my house. No, not today.
I love this suggestion. This is a good suggestion. Kyle the Embalmer says Trev has to close the Estes with Let It Go for all the people who lost. They can all just let
we
it
get
go.
them all up on stage. Yeah.
How about no? I'm not doing that. No.
Amazing.
Trev, is that you?
Yes, that's me, Dustin.
Wow, what a voice.
You're a songbird of this
the
generation.
voice of the angels. Songbird.
I know.
You're a mix of Fergie and Jesus, Trev.
I know.
You got to do it. All right. Let's. I like it. Do you think we'll be able to convince him?
Convince him?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he wants to.
I think he wants to. Deep down inside,
he's just playing it up.
Deep down inside, Trev wants to sing "Let It Go" from Frozen at the Estes. I know it. I know he does.
Otherwise, he wouldn't have brought it.
You
to
know
the
what,
table.
Trev? Enough. Just leave us alone. Okay, you can do it. All right, stop pestering us. You can do it. All right.
I like that angle.
Tell Maddie.
Yeah.
Tell Maddie. Maddie, it's in. Trev wants to do it. He won't let us go. So that's good. All right, 3 questions too many. Let's get into this. Lieutenant Eric, do you have a liner for the segment?
3 questions too many, brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda and dealer principal Mitch Lewicki. Where if Trev goes on stage and performs at the Estes, he will join him. Park Mazda, your dealer for life.
That's nice to hear.
Mitch is also
maybe it becomes a Disney medley, and you started all with the yeah, and then Trev comes out and does "Let It Go," and then at the very end, I pop out and go, "Yeah, he never had a friend like me."
Yeah, we need more medleys. Yeah. Kind of.
I think that's a good
had a friend
idea.
like me.
It's just my one line right at the end. Yeah, he never had a friend like me. It could work. You know what? Let's just try this right now. You go, Senya, and then Trev, you sing, let it go, and then I'll go, he ain't never had a friend like. Let's try it. I think this is magical right here.
I don't want to do this.
All right, Trev, have confidence, man. You think I want to do this?
You confessed.
Come on, Trev.
You're out there now.
Oh, God.
All right,
You're loving every minute of
I
it.
didn't want to confess now.
I'll go and a 1 and a 2 and a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you go, man, and a 1, and then you go, and a 1 and
So I've
a
been
2
on 6
and a 1, 2, 3, 4.
Let it go, let it go.
You ain't never had a friend like me.
Boom.
Wow.
Well, that's a start.
As far as Disney medleys go, nailed it. Nailed it.
You get a Gemini for that.
You know what? Why not? At least a Canadian Broadcasters Award. You realize the people who've won those things? Come on. All right, well, we're off and running here. Do you have a Twitter account?
Yeah, at Lieutenant_Eric. Once again, happy charge. At Dulmskeeter, tweeting at us 8 minutes ago. Happy charge to those who celebrate. Together we can help end the stigma. Hopefully Charlie the Chinstrap Penguin would be proud. And he's got a real nice one here. Not too thick, not too thin. Judging by the collared shirt, I don't know. I would assume that this is from a few years past. But if it's current, that's fine as well. Brian, thank you for sharing.
This is what Charge is about.
Yeah.
End the stigma.
He's got the little soul patch as well, but not connected to the chin strap.
It looks nice.
Yeah. He's got those nice cheeks, good jawline.
I think I'm going to say this is somewhere between 2004 and 2007. But it's a well-maintained chin strap.
Yeah.
Be proud of that thing, buddy. This is what I'm talking about.
It's a real good one.
Trev, you should get this picture and throw it up. We'll give this guy some love.
Dulm Skeeter.
Who was this?
We just retweeted it. You'll be able to find it.
Okay.
Yeah, we just retweeted it. Guys, it looks like Clausen and Zacticum has some fans down south. This is let's see.
Right now is all gas, no brakes. Look, Donald Trump, especially right now, is all gas, no brakes.
Oh boy, all gas, no brakes. Wow. God, it's already taken off for the boys. Congratulations to Clausen and you know what? Something that started at the Estes. All right, question number 1. I guess this had to come around here at some point. if Evander Kane does come back and play, would you guys play him with McDavid? We haven't even talked about the possibilities of when he comes back. I did see some people saying, well, why would Evander Kane allow them to go out and get a top 6 forward that replace him? Hey, this just in. There's room for Evander Kane on this team in some sort of significant role. Not on PP1, but pretty much anywhere else. Like, Evander Kane can't be seen here going, yeah, but if I go on the LTIR, the team gets better by getting another top 6 forward. No, you're okay, man. Like, you still have a spot for you. Don't worry about it.
Back with Draisaitl.
I'd play him with McDavid.
Okay.
I don't know if Draisaitl wants Kane on his wing. I would say you play him with him. Look, Nuge isn't doing anything with McDavid anyway. You might as well. If he does come back and play and he looks like he can move okay, put him with McDavid and Hyman and just let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. All right, question number 2. Do you guys like the name Energy City Cactus Rats for this Spruce Grove team in the Wimble?
It's too wordy.
It's a little too wordy.
Now, like the ECCR...
Cactus Rats works.
The acronym doesn't even work. There's no acronym there. Cactus Rats is okay. I don't mind that. It is playing off the porcupine, correct?
Yeah.
That's the animal they're going for.
And they could have just gone porcupines.
Parkland.
The Parkland porcupines. That would have worked.
That's the one, baby.
And that is the Parkland out there, right?
Like it
that's minor leaguish enough.
Now,
this is like what it used to be Wimble when I worked in the league.
Yeah.
What's it called now? I think they changed it.
The Wickable.
The
WCBL.
Western Canadian Baseball League.
Yeah. Like Energy City, correct me if I'm wrong, but Calgary used to have that moniker, did it not? Or was that kind of
the release I saw from the team was they
have a trailer explaining the name
whole
and the
community is like very energized and things like that. I think it's
but then he's wearing
double entendre.
But he's wearing the work vest, which would signify that he's working in the energy sector.
Yeah.
So I mean, if pick a side. I like it. I think they swung big. I'm not gonna whatever. I'm not gonna I hate it. I'm not gonna be picketing outside the.
The problem the Cactus Rats have is that they're playing in Spruce and the Riverhawks exist.
Oh no, like that's but they're built. You've seen the mock-ups of that park they're building out there. It is a gem. So, I mean, if you're out there and everything and you can't make it to downtown Edmonton and the parking and the traffic is all that stuff, this does provide something else. And I like to go there to see the opposing teams as well from the WCBL, visiting the Energy City Cactus Rats. The whole rat thing, too, I think really irks people from here because the point of pride is
we have no rats.
That when rats try to cross the provincial border, they say, your papers, please. And then the rat, they say, no, you're not allowed in here. So it's one of those things that I think porcupine. Nobody's ahead of the. Now, the
mascot looks pretty cool. I will say that.
Looks, I like the logo. He's
got
doing
the bat from what's the game? Negan from
bat flipping it.
Yeah.
Now, is there anything written in
That's
the quills?
Bat that killed. What's his name in the show?
Because all these logos always have is there
you know what I mean?
Is this
quills?
An Expos thing where you could? Because I was kind of seeing a couple of E's. I thought maybe it'd spell it like energy or something, but I don't think it does.
No, I don't think it does.
I haven't watched their trailer. They have a thing explaining the whole, but maybe there's something in there. I don't mind it. I don't hate it. But it is a little wordy.
Have we ever heard to this area referred to as Energy City?
Well, no.
That's the one where I'm like,
and if it's for the fan thing, I get that. Yeah. But I mean, then why is
the Energy City Cactus Rats? That's cool. I mean, it's kind of a neat name. It's a little wordy, and I don't necessarily understand the Energy City part, but I like the Cactus Rats more than the Energy City part.
Sure,
I will say that.
And the logo,
I like the logo.
Love it.
Yeah, logo's important. Logo onto.
I think I'll get the blue cap.
You're gonna go blue.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome to the community, the Energy City Cactus Rats. All right, question number 3. You can submit your questions to 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Let's go to this one. This is kind of a little advice segment. I love this. This is only the second time this guy's texted in. He says, hey, Dusty, I'm 51 years old. I'm from North Bay, Ontario, and have been an Oilers fan since the early 80s. I'm finally realized this is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm finally realizing a childhood dream of seeing the Oilers in their home barn. I fly out Wednesday morning. I'm there until Sunday. I'll catch the Habs and the Stars games. While I'm there, what are must things to visit and places to eat? Well, if you want, man.
EST bingo.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I was going to say, feel free to pop by the office and say hi.
Well,
like, if you're going to fly out, we have an open door policy, so feel free to swing by the station to say hi. Well, I mean, there's that one Murderer's Row where you've got Pro-Am Sports, Mr. Mike's, Popeyes, and A&W, like all right along it,
and an Arby's in there.
I mean, bonus Arby's. We don't know a contact person at Arby's.
When they get on board,
if we knew a contact person at Arby's, we'd have Arby's on board right now too. So there's that. I mean, and then there's also the Westgate area where you can hit up a Boston Pizza, you can hit up Wayne's, you can hit up Italian Center.
Right by the big mall.
Yeah, it's right by the mall. It's just north of the mall. So you should definitely do that. While you're here, you should pick up some 6 o'clock lager and give it a go. I think that's a good idea as well. And safe travels, man. I would download Top Gun Maverick and watch it on the plane. It makes you feel like such a rush when you watch that on a plane.
Is he flying?
I think he's flying.
He could be taking the train.
That's a long drive or train
Take the train,
ride.
see your country.
I do want to take a train for part of the country at some point, yeah.
Yeah, Rob from the Grove. Got to go to Westgate Corner. Obviously.
Yeah, the Westgate Corner there with the Italian Center, Wayne's, Popeyes.
Bronco Nick needs to have a donaire.
Boston Pizza.
Of course,
you definitely got to have a donaire.
Yeah.
Definitely. And hey, maybe you get a couple of dubs while you're here as well.
Strummy says hit up 780. I'm sure we'll have the EST NWO shirts.
I've sent those shirts over to I've sent the logo. Tube Socks put together the EST NWO style logo. I sent it over to a door at 780. I told him, I said, listen, we're going to need about 10 for the staff too. I mean, we're going to have to be repping.
Well, we're going to
stuff.
need at least 2 because one we're going to have to rip off.
The first one we have to rip off, yeah. I said to him, can you make a little slit in one so it's easier to rip for us?
Yeah.
But yeah, our EST NWO line will be available at 780 here at some point. We'll let you know when it is. Won't be ready by this week, though, I don't think. But I think those things are going to sell out quick. There's only going to be like 24 shirts in each of the 5 stores. So they'll go, I think they'll go pretty quick. And don't go buy all 12 and sell them online. All right, let's get to this. This is great. No, this is perfect. I love how we didn't even reference it, and this picture just popped up. We want to do this. So what's this guy's name?
Dome Skeeter on Twitter.
Dome Skeeter on Twitter.
Brian, I believe his name is.
Yeah, Brian with a Y. He's helping us end the stigma here in Charge. Let's guess the year, eh? And maybe Brian can confirm this for us.
You were in the ballpark, though.
Somewhere. This is an 04-07 strap and shirt combo for sure. But look how I think this looks good. I think this looks really good.
It's great. The color is great. Look at how rosy those cheeks are too, and it kind of fits in with the profile of that black color. Like he's not a blonde guy, black or darker hair, but that darker chin strap really pops in contrast to the.
As he said in the tweet, hopefully Charlie the chin strap penguin would be proud.
Oh well,
I mean, let's see what Charlie the chin
get his
strap
reaction right
thinks
now
about this. Charlie, what do you think of Brian's chin strap that he shared with us here in the month of Charge? Brian, I really like your chin strap. It looks just like a chin strap penguin. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give you an 11, Brian. Thank you for helping us try to end the stigma with Charlie the chin strap penguin. Looks great. Looks great. Toon says the driving cat says that's a 2002 chin strap. Duck Dad says top button undone as well.
Yeah,
perfect.
And look at those eyebrows, man. He's out to play.
Serious eyebrows.
He is out to play.
You think those eyebrows have had work done on them?
Is it a billiard club?
God, it looks nice.
He was out there.
Can you identify the background? I think this is looking like a house party. I think those are like shelves up in the top left.
I see the hair at the top. I think there's a little bit of product in there probably too. Like he's got that.
Can I give you one general observation?
Probably smells great.
This guy looks happy. This looks like a happy guy. Happier times. The world was probably a more simple place for him back then. And he's one of the greatest facial styles of all time.
It's a Mount Charchmore-esque bust, right? Like you could take this, you could put it right on the mountain.
Well, I mean, we're probably taking it a little bit too far.
But just the way it's all presented.
No, it looks good.
Framed perfect.
This is something that he didn't just throw together.
Broad
he worked
shoulders.
on this.
Yeah.
He worked on it. He might have gone the 3-mirror thing because those sides look, the sides look tight. You know what? That might even be a professional job. He might have gone in someplace and got that done.
They were doing it back then.
Surveyor Brett says he's just missing a puka shell necklace.
Well, that's probably hidden under the collar. It's popped a bit at the back too.
Yeah, well, it's up just a little. I don't know if he meant to do that or he's just a little sloppy.
It's a style at the time.
But if you got a chin strap that looks that good, that's you know what I think. I think Brian reaching out and doing this will encourage others to do it as well. Brandon from Windsor, he's been curious about this for a while. Any update on the draft of liquids, Dusty? Did I tell you about this? It was suggested to us.
Okay.
A draft of liquids. So you could do a bunch of different things. Like you could do
like
dips,
household cleaning products.
Yeah, household cleaning product. I would suggest Drano. My God, I used Drano over the weekend because like the beard shaving, the basement sink was a little gummed up.
Yeah.
Drano gets the job done, man. I would totally draft Drano in a liquid draft.
I think a quart of bleach is probably a first round.
That'd be up there too. I didn't even think about household products.
Liquids. Look, liquids, man. You could. It's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could have a category for like Mother Nature's liquid,
mother's milk,
honey, water,
milk of the breast
of a cow or a goat. Or I think horses create milk. Like there's lots of different things we could do. So I do like the idea of, and then like beverage.
Your soft drinks and your
something that you would mix to make it. So Kool-Aid or Tang or that chocolate milk mix.
How do you like to take your water?
I
think water. You have one category
water,
for water.
Cold water with ice in it,
boiling like you had this morning. Lemon water.
A warm liquid,
cucumber water,
a liquid that's been heated up in some way.
Yeah, this is the draft would be very liquid. You could kind of move things around if you.
Very
liquid
draft. A fluid liquid draft.
I don't like draft of fluids though. That does sound.
I wonder what
disgusting.
I think it's okay.
The draft of fluids.
Liquid draft does sound bad.
Yeah.
I don't know if the commission's still listening or watching, but commish, what do you think of a liquids draft?
Yeah.
Nobody else is doing it.
Somewhere Matty twinges down in his
surveyor Brett
vacation.
says, Dusty, liquid draft, blood, number 1 overall. Yeah, I don't think we're going human produced liquids.
Mother's milk.
Mother's milk. Blood.
Is blood even a liquid? It's more like a goop. It's more like the viscosity of blood is pretty.
Yeah, blood is a hemoglobin.
Yeah. Like it's life. It's not even
something like that.
That's why fluid. I think keep it to liquid.
Huffy the Clown says mercury, boys. Mercury, a liquid metal. Yeah, that's something you could look at as well. I mean, they're all really good suggestions. We'll keep them in mind. But I think liquid draft is something we could have fun with.
Yeah, you're not moving off chocolate milk, are you? You would be.
Look,
you'll have to draft with your heart.
Chocolate milk has a first round grade for me.
Sure.
I mean, but chocolate milk should have a first round grade. Who doesn't like chocolate?
I think
milk?
2% white though is more of an all around player. You can have that.
I'm a 1% white guy, and I'm a huge milk guy. I have like 2 glasses of milk every single day of my life. I've already consumed milk today. Think about that.
Plumbers hate liquid Drano, I heard, George Conlon says.
Well, yeah, you know why? Because I don't have to call a plumber to fix my sink because I do it with something I picked up at the store.
The job stealer.
Yeah, it's really smooth. I want my sinks to get clogged so I can just use the Drano. It's pretty interesting. All right, we've got Gager on the way. Oh, tape says chicken soup broth for the win. Oh, chicken soup broth is pretty good.
Yeah.
Especially when it's done right.
Now the mind's going here.
Vehicle fluid, gasoline, windshield washer, oil. What's another liquid that would go into a car? There's got to be another thing underneath the hood that you're supposed to put something into. And what's the little one? There's a little bottle that you put in. Can't remember what that is, Trev.
Coolant.
There you go. There's 4 right there. Good category.
Man, if you get all those,
that's a great
clean
stack.
sweep in that category. What a
brake
stack
fluid.
Brake fluid. Man, you know lots about fluids for a guy who hasn't updated his fob in
He's a
4
gearhead.
years.
He's a car guy.
Yeah. Corey B says, horse bleep. If you can draft milk, you can draft blood. I would agree. Blood has to be available. It is a liquid.
Yeah, I guess so.
You got something else there, Jeff? Do you got more car fluids?
Another car fluid?
Wow, you're a big car fluid guy.
Sully says blinker fluid.
Blinker? That's not a thing. Don't trick me.
That's what I was going to say.
You guys are greasy. I was going to say I'm an idiot. But I'm not that much of an idiot. We
I
have
wanted to see what you said.
We have to. I'm not. Come on, you guys.
That would have been funny.
Everybody's on the blinker fluid.
There's no such thing.
Have you changed your blinker fluid
You
lately?
should every 10
Recently?
years.
I'm serious.
Trev,
What?
I got 3 words for you.
Oh, gosh.
Let it go. All right, Gagers coming up. Orange and blue breakfast for GCL Diesel. The Marmot Basis Snow Report. The wrap for William Huff. Ooh, a Slurpee. That's interesting. Is a Slurpee a liquid? I mean, if it melts enough, it does. Would you go melted Slurpee?
Semen.
Gagers on the way. He's
You're
coming up.
taking blood.
Hey, and look, if
we're
you're
all
taking
adults.
blood,
We're all
semen's
adults.
available as well. 100%, Eric. Somebody had to say it. I'm glad you did. Let's get to a sports update right now for Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge. Gagers on the other side. I will get his thoughts on the upcoming trade deadline, I guess. We'll get into that with Gager.
Maybe his favorite liquid.
Yeah. I wonder what get beer probably.
Yeah,
Gager does like a
he's
good
a beer band.
And we'll find out.
Game day is the Oilers and Ducks tonight. Come on.
Somebody just sent me a link to buy blinker fluid. Advanced biodegradable synthetic blend. Recommended for cars. I mean, that's a really quick Photoshop turnaround. if it's not real. Oh no. It says right after it, a hilarious joke. Whatever.
You silly goose.
Hey! Come on, man!
Oilers Ducks tonight as the Oilers return home in one of 10 games around the NHL. Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas will get you set. They'll have your GCL Diesel pre- and post-game shows here on EST. Coverage starts at 6. Action last night. Kings lose their 4th straight, 5-1 to the Blackhawks. Spencer Knight, 41 saves in his debut for Chicago. Sharks topping the Leafs 3-2 in a shootout as the Panthers edging the Lightning 2-1. Rangers shutting up the Isles 4-0. Habs in overtime 4-3 over the Sabres. Montreal have won 5 straight, and the Caps defeating the Senators 5-4 in a shootout. 9 games around the NBA tonight, including the Raptors in Orlando, the Lakers at home to the Pelicans, and the Cavaliers aiming for 11 straight victories when they visit Chicago. Last night, 51 points from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander saw the Thunder reach the 50-win mark on the season, 137-128 over the Rockets. And the morning draw at the Briar just getting underway. Kevin Cooey yesterday picking up a pair of wins. He is now 2-3 entering today. He'll take on Brad Gushu's Team Canada later tonight. The Gushu rink improving to 4-0 last night, defeating Manitoba's Reed Carruthers to the tune of 7-3. Brad Jacobs, meanwhile, he enters play today at 3-0. He'll play Saskatchewan's Ryan Kleider this morning and Nova Scotia in the evening draw. Sports update presented by Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge. With wall-to-wall TVs, daily food and drink specials, it's the place to be for every Oilers game. Every day is game day at Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge.
DRS, DRS, drop that wing and try your best. Get up close, you've got to press, must be within 1 second or less. Show that speed, please don't swerve. Hey, look out, here comes a curve. Hit the button, be ambitious. Goodbye, Mikey, too judicious. Around the world, they will prance. Red Bull Ring to Paris, France. And you never want to finish second best. Push on and refuse to lose. Drop the wing and then use DRS, DRS, DRS.
DRS. Are our mics working at their best? People are saying
Need
that's
some mic fluid.
Sounds totally fine to us right now.
I think they're joking. That's the joke.
Oh, come on.
The mic fluid's not a thing. Neither is blinker fluid. I'm pretty sure that's what that is.
Strumming doesn't joke.
I don't like it. That was last year. April Fools. They're like, no audio. Oh, no audio.
Oh, yeah.
Which
really
is coming
funny.
up right away.
Really
well,
funny.
it's March 4th.
Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind.
Don't give people a heads up about April Fools, Trev.
Well, it's just good to know in case the nasties are up to no good.
32 likes away from changing 300. 25 minutes left in the show. Let's hammer those thumbs up. we'll get to. I see Wheels over in the chat says, is anybody stuck on the Sherbert Freeway right now? I'm watching TV looking at all the traffic.
The Sherbert Freeway.
I do like all of the roads around Edmonton being named after something from like a Super Mario Kart game.
It sounds delicious.
Yeah. Amishman19 says it sounds choppy on my phone, but fine on my computer. Come on, you're messing with me. Don't mess with us like this. This isn't funny.
Jill says cutting in and out.
What? No, stop this. Trev, have you listened to the feed? Like, does it sound fine?
Several times, yes. It sounds great.
It's that old March 4th pranking. Okay? People like to prank early in charge, and then they get more serious near the end of the month.
You guys, somebody said restarting the stream fixes it sometimes. Enough.
That's not funny.
I'm going to continue. Like, you're making me get all rattled here now. Like,
Rip City Step says it was cutting in and out during the update, but I closed the app and reopened. Fine now. People like to prank early in charge. You guys, this is the update. You guys, way before, not now.
Well, whatever. I mean, it sounds fine now. All right, let's bring in Joaquin Gage. There's Gager. Yeah, a little DRS. Gager watching testing as much as he possibly can. Gager, what's up, buddy? How you doing, man?
Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Creed Tuesday, as we used to call it.
Yeah, you know what? I should play some Creed today. I haven't got to it. Tombstone Tuesday, Creed Tuesday, so many different Tuesdays. Gager, did you ever, well, first of all, I mean, you've been keeping tabs on a lot of this testing stuff. What's happened? What's the latest in Formula One, buddy?
It's tough to really get a good handle on everything because you don't really know the fuel loads and how much the power units were turned up, but a lot of the helmet cams that you saw, you could see a lot of experts looking at the angles where guys are going into corners. They gave McLaren kind of the edge a little bit. They said Red Bull looked a little bit behind, but by the last day they seemed to have zeroed things in a little bit more. Hamilton looked good, was fast, looked for what he's done at Maranello, like camping out with his Airstream trailer, I guess, in the factory for the last few months, has really assimilated well in and getting used to it, but looked quite comfortable in the car. So like they said, this and George Russell talking about the Mercedes car, he had a good little story. You know right away in testing, when you come down the straight, you're going 300 kilometers an hour and you go into that first turn, and it just feels right.
Like then you know that first one, just like that's it, you know.
And he said that's how I felt. So right there, 4 of the top teams from last year, all feeling really good about their cars. But look, we won't know until they get down to Australia and we kind of see the first few days of testing and go from there. But very unforgiving track. The reason why they have it in Bahrain is there's a lot of runoff areas, but even then, like not a lot of guys running off and not a lot of issues with the cars. So this first race is going to be very, very interesting.
Switching back to the ice, Gager, Oilers returning home, which feels like an eternity since they've been here playing last. You're going Pickard tonight, net, right?
I wouldn't. I mean, I don't know why. Look, Calvin Pickard, I said it yesterday. Nanso and I got into a big fight. It was awful. He thinks Pickard should go. I think you have to go back to Skinner. He's your man. He has to find his game for game 83 here. I don't think you start Calvin Pickard game 1 of the playoffs.
Like you can't roll Pickard into the playoffs, right? Like,
yeah, and you have to find it. And I know I'm going back years later, and Craig Button said on the show this morning, guys, the Oilers are not as good a team as they were last year at this point. So to me, that tells me that you're going to have superhuman efforts from other areas of your lineup to make up for that. And goaltending is obviously one of those areas. If we go back in time to 2006 on the miraculous run that the Edmonton Oilers took, Dwayne Rolison came in with about 25 games remaining in the season and he was terrible for those first 5 games. Mac T said, he's my guy. This is what we're doing, and slowly but surely, Dwayne got his game to an elite level, which he was capable of, which I do think Stuart Skinner is. You got to use these games to get his car in the right window, so to speak, and hopefully you can put on the hards and go for a long time, and then put the softs on for that last series and bring home the victory.
I like the driving analogy.
See what I did there, boys? See what I did there?
F1 analyst. I mean, that just ties in so nicely. It ties in so nicely. Gage, are you preparing yourself for an underwhelming deadline for the Oilers?
Yeah. I mean, I don't see them able to be able to make the considerable splash it would be to bring in a player that's going to make a huge difference. I think they need to. But it's so hard. We don't know what this whole Evander Kane situation is. How much space do they have? Is he going to come back with 5 games left in the season? You know, this is very difficult to gauge. And he's kind of, from what I've heard and what I've seen, the Oilers' hands are kind of tied right now in what they can do. Even to the point where his list of teams, right? The list of teams, we don't know what teams these are, but to get a proper dance partner, they have to want a tango as well. It might be the case where you're looking at last year, just same type of thing. Aside from Adam Henrique, it was basically solidifying your lineup in the case of injuries, right? Backing some positions up just in case. So no, I don't see the Oilers making a big splash. They've put themselves in a position with all these no trade clauses where they can't make a big splash.
Joaquin Gage with us on the show this morning. Gager, Connor McDavid had an option to not practice yesterday, did decide to practice. I know there's been a lot of talk about, is he banged up? Is there something wrong? Is he sick? Ekholm and Arvidsson took the days off, but McDavid did practice yesterday. It was with Hyman and Nuge. I just feel like this is going to be a game where McDavid blows up. Like he's due for a 3-point or a 4-point
good numbers
game
against the Ducks traditionally.
Like, are you getting that same sort of sense tonight with McDavid? It's got to happen at some point, doesn't it?
I think he hasn't been home in over a month, essentially, right? Probably get home, have that home skipped meals probably or something like that. I don't know if Lauren cooks. I think
they have a chef, I think, that makes everything meals, for them.
Yeah. So well, I just remember that it was old Blue Eyes Luke Gazdick was Bobby Flaying it back in the day. He was throwing around the pots and pans.
Old Blue Eyes.
Yeah, so just getting back to a normal routine. Hockey players love routine, right? Do everything. So him getting back to practice, getting back into the swing of things after this whirlwind of the last month, I would definitely go into my Cool Bet account and put something on McDavid to blow up tonight. It's about time. Every player goes through times in their career that they're not at their best. He's even admitted that he doesn't feel like he's at the top of his game. You saw him just doing some individual work that's hypnotizing at times when you watch McDavid. So yeah, I would put a few shekels on McDavid to probably get 3 points tonight.
Also, game 700 in his NHL career tonight.
So something special coming up.
He likes
if you do want to try to milk this tonight. The parlay is up. Coolbet has it. It's over on the exclusives page. McDavid 2 points, Draisaitl goal, Bouchard assist, Oilers winning regulation plus 500, 5-1. If you want to ride with that one tonight, I think I will be on that for sure. McDavid 2 points, Draisaitl goal, Bouchard with an assist, Oilers to win in regulation. Gager, what's your favorite liquid of all time? If you were going to do a liquid draft, what would be the first overall pick?
Ooh, my liquids change on a quarterly basis, Dusty. Right now, it's mezcal tequila. I would say is my
fancy boy. Who are you? The
my
Rock?
Favorite liquid. No, I don't drink that Terramani crap.
Oh, okay.
That's vanilla extract.
So you're on tequila right now.
I've moved on, Dusty.
Wow.
It's I'll come back. I'll be back one day. I was an IPA guy for a long period of time, but a really good run. we had a lot of fun, IPAs and I. But I've kind of mastered this margarita, and ask my wife. Like she sees me pull out the tequila, and she gets all excited. So we have margarita nights at times, and they're
really?
just.
So that's your big thing.
Yeah, it's funny how we've been together a long time, and you have certain things with your partner that you do together, and now we really look forward to like margarita Fridays or Saturdays, where we whip up a couple, watch a show. And
I would say this. That's romantic. That's romantic. I love it.
It is.
What's the show? What's the show? What are you watching right now? What's the show you guys are on?
We're doing Paradise on Disney Plus.
Oh, I've heard about it.
It's Reed and I have been talking about it a lot in the bullpen. And Reed, I had a few episodes to burn through last week, so I was excited. And Reed came in and told me the last episode last week was the best. And like a lot of things Reed says, he was not wrong. It was fantastic.
What's the concept of this Paradise? What's going on here?
It's kind of a little post apocalyptic.
Reed's hopping on here, I think. Oh, okay.
Is he?
No,
Yeah,
he's here. He's
so-
hosting the hangout today. So
Yeah, it's
apocalyptic. Great.
Yeah, apocalyptic, dystopian kind of thing, but political. A bit of political, a lot of political stuff actually, but I don't want to ruin it for everyone. The first episode it's really great because there's little hints of what's going on. You're like, what do you mean?
What?
And then
at
the end of the episode, it's like, holy smokes. And then there's a couple fillers, right? That are like, what really?
Yeah.
But it's really picked up. I think the last 3 episodes, there's some parts where there's some characters. Obviously, there's some deaths in this. So don't get too attached to characters. Okay, I would say, and because some of them are like, oh, I kind of like this person, and then you're like, what happened there? So, I'm enjoying it. I can't wait for the next episode.
Tam and I just finished Landman, and now we're moving on to the new season of White Lotus.
Oh yeah. My wife is watching that.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna do White Lotus, and then we're gonna do the second season of 1923. Which is Yellowstone spinoff. We like the first one, so.
And I heard the Robert De Niro one on Netflix is good.
Yeah, somebody just said. Did you watch that, right?
Did you?
Yeah. A lot of good casting. The good thing is you don't got to wait 3 years for a season 2. It all wrapped up in that 6 episode thing. So it was pretty good. Again, another modern take on politics and all that. So yeah, it was decent. De Niro's can't miss.
My favorite, and I started rewatching a little bit. If you're into superhero comic books, the first season of Daredevil,
new season today,
Disney
buddy.
It's unbelievable, I think, anyways. And the new season starts today. And
2 episodes, isn't it? Is it?
I know. I love the Daredevil Wilson Fisk battle, and from what I remember, the comic book series of Born Again is really, really good. So hopefully, fingers crossed. I've pumped this up in my head way too much, but I'm looking.
Sounds like we got lots of shows to watch. Lots of shows to watch. But tonight we will be consuming the Edmonton Oilers game. 2 guys in goalie coming up a little bit later on EST afternoons as well. Gage, thanks for the time, buddy.
All right, buddy. See you soon.
There you go. That's Joaquin Gage, brought to you by the Cookson Boys over at Pro-Am Sports. Locally owned sports memorabilia and apparel specialists. Have Pro-Am custom frame that jersey you have in the closet or the photo that you still got in the box. Visit them in-store to get started on your project, located in Edmonton at the corner of St. Albert Trail and 128th Ave, or online at proamsports.ca. All right, Oilers and Ducks tonight. Let's get into the GCL Diesel Orange and Blue Breakfast. Brought to you by, of course, GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around. From turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors, they are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years. 50 freaking years. Not bad. Congratulations to Cam and the crew over there on all of your success. All right, Edmonton Oilers did practice yesterday. Arvidsson was not on the ice. Ekholm was not on the ice. Kulak was not on the ice. They did call up Dineen in an emergency basis, so we'll see what that means for the blue line tonight. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. We can't keep regular tabs on them. McDavid was skating with Hyman and Nuge yesterday. Draisaitl was with Podkolzin and Matt Savoy. Savoy could just be in a placeholder spot for Arvidsson. Henrique between Brown and Matthias Janmark, Kapanen, Skinner, and Corey Perry. As for the Ducks that roll into town tonight, coming off a loss to Chicago. Oh, Ryan Strome. I hope he scores tonight. Either way, we'll play that song tomorrow. Strome between Terry and Vetrano. Zegras returns. Leo Carlson and Killorn on the second line. Mason McTavish, Colangelo, Cutter Gauthier, Isaac Lundstrom, Jansen Harkins, and Ross Johnston. Then on the back end, Jackson Lacombe. He's on my roster in the Juan Rincon Hockey League this year, and I'm on my way to a four-peat. He's had a nice little season there. Radko Gudas, Minchkov and Trouba, Dumoulin, and Drew Hellison on the back end for the Ducks. As for a list of guys who aren't tough enough to play hockey tonight, let's get into your injury report for Podium Physiotherapy. Knee pain from that nagging ACL injury, hip or shoulder pain slowing you down. How about back pain after a long day's work? Well, they've got you covered. Whether it's a sports injury, a post-op recovery, op being operation, or the wear and tear of everyday life, the expert team is there and ready to get you back on track at Podium Physiotherapy. Unlock the athlete in you. Who can't go tonight, Rick?
For the visiting Ducks on the IR, a pair of players, Brock McGinn and Robbie Fabry. Looking at the Oilers, we have DTD, which means day-to-day Darnell Nurse, but of course was on the ice, so we expect maybe perhaps him. Alec Regula with an IR next to his name and Evander Kane out.
Or is he? Da-da-da-da.
Kane
We're
watch
not
continues.
yet at that conversation. We're not yet there on this front. Not yet. And we'll see. All right, let's continue with the GCL Diesel Orange and Blue Breakfast here. Your key to a victory tonight. What are you going with?
We've been talking about it all morning. At least a point in 23 of his last 25 games against the Ducks. That's 15 goals, 37 assists, 700th NHL game tonight. He's back home for the first time in what feels like a freaking month. He petted his dog. He looked at his heated driveway.
Hi, Lenny. You're a good boy. You missed Daddy, didn't you, Lenny? You missed Lenny. Lenny missed Daddy,
He's
too.
getting all that. As Gager said, probably skipped in a meal or two. He's back. He's here. He's at home. 700 NHL game. He's a Duck killer. Connor McDavid, I think, as a captain, does and should do, take a team when it's... I know they won in Carolina, but I don't think that rinsed all of the struggles out of this lineup right now, but I could see a night from him tonight. I think Big Uke said first hat trick of the season tonight. Something along those lines. 11-2, the Oilers are in the last 13 games against the Ducks. They're averaging 5.3 goals. I know we go back to that last meeting. Got to kind of think that's, say what you want about the Ducks, but I think that tonight the Ducks are getting the Oilers at a bad time.
If McDavid doesn't have at least 2 points tonight, I'll bite into a lemon tomorrow on the show.
This is great.
That's how confident
a full one, not a half.
No.
Like you're going to eat it like an apple.
No, I'm not going to eat it.
Oh.
I just want to bite into it once. So
but some people bite into the half of it, a half a lemon. You're going to bite into the
No, I'm going to bite
skin,
into the half of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm biting into the half of it. The little slice.
Yeah, I know, but I just thought
then after
full
I'm going to put it
would be-
into a glass of spice rum, Diet Coke. One of my favorite liquids.
The long play.
One of my favorite liquids.
Yeah, it's McDavid.
Yeah.
McDavid tonight.
All right, let's get into... and my game day prediction is Connor McDavid gets 2 points tonight. 2 points. It's due. It's time. It's Ducks. It's at home. McDavid 2 points tonight. Take it to the bank.
Gibson gets lit up, hey?
Either way, there's a goaltending conversation coming out of the game tonight.
There'll be
tomorrow
something.
morning on the
Yeah,
show.
right.
All right, let's get into the wrap for William Huff. If you want your place to look as good as ours, go see Bruce and the Dream Team, baby. Been at William Huff. Been doing it since 1952. Visit their website, www.williamhuff.com. All right, what did we learn on the show today?
Well, we learned that Trevor's booked his time at the Estes. Front of house, top stage. What do you want to call it?
Possibly closing the show.
Possibly closing, opening, but maybe both.
Maybe opening, maybe closing, maybe both.
The both. And intermission.
I do think they sing Let It Go, and Trev, you can confirm this because you watched it so many times after school in grade 10. Doesn't she kind of sing Let It Go in two different parts of the show?
Hello?
Or is it just in two different parts of the movie? Or is it just once? Is it just once? I thought there was a song that they kind of left off and then picked up again a little bit later, but I might be wrong.
I think it's just the one.
That might be from the play. It might be from the play.
She only lets
I'm
go
a big
once.
theater guy.
You can only let it go once.
What'd you learn on the show today?
I don't know.
That people are very much anticipating a performance?
That's not happening.
Performance of a lifetime?
I learned, what did I learn?
No, snow report, man.
Yeah,
What snow report too. Jeez,
I learned that we almost forgot the snow report.
Oh, gee, that's funny timing. Let's finish the wrap, then we'll get to the snow report. Let me see who sent it today, Brian or Kelsey. Brian today. Brian,
interesting.
Brian. Okay. Oh, that's good, man. We'll get to that. All right, let's get to your sound of the day today. You know what? And then we'll do text of the day after snow report. There's a couple I want to check on. Sound of the day today has to be our medley, our Disney medley. We have to do it again.
Okay.
Trev, you got another go? What is my line?
Or we could just play the recorded version.
We will never be able to go back and find it. Let's just do it again. All right.
You're coming in on 6
I'll count you in on and a 1 and a 2 and a 1, 2, 3, and then you hit it, and then Trev comes in, and then I'll wrap it up. All right, ready? Here we go. This is your sound of the day today on the wrap, brought to you by William Huff. And a 1 and a 2 and a 1, 2, 3, 4.
Let it go. Let it go.
You ain't never had a friend like me. Boom.
I like you sliding in.
Yeah, you ain't never had a friend like me. I think that's pretty good.
You guys are so good.
This is nice. Good feeling.
Only do it if we all go up on stage.
I'll stand there with you.
If you hold my hand.
I'll dress up as the
Mitch from Park Mazda will be
the guy.
Big summer blowout.
All right, let's get into your Marvin Basin snow report right now. Why not?
Oh, dude. I'm your huckleberry.
So stoked. Like, winter's here. I'm stoked. You stoked?
I'm stoked.
Just so stoked.
Yes.
I mean, it came down last night, what, a good 5 inches?
Last night, I think so. Something like that, and a couple feet the day before.
You've got a 5-foot base with 5 inches of freshie on top.
All right, here we go. Snow report. Temperatures -10 right now. Forecasted high of -5, but it's a clear and sunny day. Time to make sure you put on the sunscreen when you hit the slopes.
Wow, that's liquid.
People are skiing with t-shirts on, apparently. There was a trace of new snow last night, 6 centimeters of new snow over the last 2 days. All lifts are operating, or as they say sometimes, all lifts are spinning. All lifts are spinning. Conditions throughout the mountain are fabulous. A reminder to skiers and snowboarders that Marmot is going to be open all the way through until May 4th. May the 4th. May the 4th.
Be with you.
May the 4th.
Prosper.
May the 4th.
Long.
Be with you. May the 4th.
And
May the
prosper.
4th.
Long
Make
and
your day.
prosper.
May the 4th.
Liquid. Fluid.
Makes my day.
Skimarmot.com and go find all the deals. They'll be open until May 4th, which that's nice to hear. That's nice to hear. That groundhog did good things, and Marmot's going to be open for a long, long time. So that's nice. All right, let's get into your text of the day today. Colin the Amishman is going to take this thing home today. The next confession we're going to hear is something like, yeah, when I go home, I used to hang upside down in my closet like an vampire. And everybody will go, classic Trev.
Yeah. What will you come up with next week?
Your confessions have been my favorite part of the show for like a month now.
Yeah, I like that. I kind of like that. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
What was it before? You guys, well, because your confessions are solid. But it's like
we have good confessions too, but usually it's a lot of fantasy football stuff during the football season.
That's
right?
how it burns.
But this is where we're really allowed to cook here outside of the fantasy football.
Yeah, your guys' confessions are very recent. Mine are just my childhood. Just things I did when I was younger.
I'm getting to know you.
I think that's okay. It works. But no, that's cool. As long as you guys are happy with it, so am I.
Hey, who wouldn't be happy, right? I think it's a great time. Okay. All right, 780-218-9999. We've got the Hangout coming up next. It'll feature YouTube, Trev. And Reed Wilkins is in the host chair today. Tommy with a family commitment this morning, and Maddie obviously on vacation. So it will be it'll be Trev. It'll be Reed Wilkins and a couple of fine guests over on the Hangout coming up here right away. Trev, you have fun with Reed there, buddy. It's going to be a good time. I'm going to make a coffee run.
I'm going to have a lot of fun.
I'm going to get all the Hangout folks coffee today. Rick, do you want a coffee? I'll get you a coffee.
I'm good.
Trev, I know you want a coffee, right? You want a...
Damn, Reed, you look good.
He wants an Alec regular. Yeah. You go medium regular.
Medium regular.
Yeah, there we go. I'm gonna keep saying regular and see if Timmy's employee at some point goes, "Are you talking about the Oiler?"
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it'll probably happen, but yeah. All right, that's going to do it for the show today. I'll be back with the Lock Shop at 11. Hangout's coming up. Turn on autoplay. It'll take you right on over to the Hangout. Hammer the thumbs up for us before you slide on out today if you are leaving and not just getting over to the Hangout. It's going to be a great Hangout today. We are 8 likes away from changing 300, so let's do that as well. And Matt at the Garrison, I'm not bringing you a coffee. Okay, it's just for the crew here on the Hangout today. All right, for YouTube, Trev and Lieutenant Eric, I am Dustin Nielsen. Thank you very much for joining us today. I'll talk to you in a couple hours in the Lock Shop. Take it easy.